We should do the picture.
Oh yeah.
The picture,
So
yeah.
traditionally, we have when we're all on screen together, we take a picture with our horns up.
Oh, okay.
All three of us. Yep. I'm just going to do grid stuff. Oh, how do I do this?
Grid stuff.
Focus.
She's like, I gotta shut down the power to the rest of
Oh,
the
there we
city.
go. Yeah.
At least Batman, we knew it.
I am. I'm Bat Ham. Like pizza topping. All right, let's go. Run. That one's good. I'm keeping that. Come on. Come on. We killed Max.
Slice of life.
Max is dead. Done. I was sending you both.
Okay. All right.
Oh
my gosh. Yeah, so we take a picture of all three of us doing it together, and then Max posts it. There you go. That was cute. That was so cute. I loved it. Oh my god. The tall grass still gets me.
The tall grass.
The tall grass. One of my favorite things ever from memories from the podcast, because it was supposed to be serious, was we were talking about fears, and we were talking about our fears, and Max asked me if it's like, do I just fear water? Do I just fear sharks? Is it all of it all together? Like thalassophobia? And I was like, it's all, and I'm like, it's all of it. And he was like, yeah, I get that. He goes, you ever seen the movie The Tall Grass? And I really truly meant that. I was just like, no, but I know what tall grass is.
They told me growing up that to stay out of the tall grass because that's where the raptors live. There's a lot of fields like that in the town over me called Halifax, and every time I drive past it with like a select few of my friends, they're just always like, they just roll down the window and just like, stay out of the tall grass, and I'm just like, dude, these people are gonna call the cops on me one of these days.
Yeah.
Like, because that's on the way to my in-laws' house, so I drive there consistently.
That's amazing. Fucking is that a thing? Like raptors live in tall grass?
It was the Lost World, the second movie.
Oh,
is it called Lost World: The Tall Grass?
No.
Oh.
The Lost World Jurassic Park. It's the sequel to the original Jurassic Park, and there's a scene where they're all getting chased by dinosaurs. Like the whole, like, was it InGen, I think the company is. So there's like, I don't want to say mercenaries, but they're employees that were there to like capture the dinosaurs off the island and then bring them to the mainland. And they're being chased, like, I think it was by a T-Rex, and they were running through a field, and this guy just like runs up, he's like, stay to the tall grass, and then like they show like an eagle-eye view of like everyone running through, and like the grass is like folding over, and then there's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from like the angles coming into the side, and those are the raptors coming in and like converging on them.
They're saying stay out of the tall grass?
Stay out of the tall grass, yeah, because that's the raptors were hiding in there, and then they jump through the air and like.
Oh shit! And you're basically fucked.
Oh yeah, because they're essentially like flightless birds that can jump like 20 feet in the air. And the funny thing is like you watch the movies and the raptors in it are probably 5 feet tall, but like most, like obviously they're velociraptors, but there's many different forms of the raptor family. All of them were like 8, 9, 10 feet tall, and like their talons were like the big talons on their feet were like the size of our faces. It's like, yeah,
Jesus
fuck that.
Christ.
The killer roosters.
Yeah, and the chickens are descendants, right, of the raptors?
So it's like birds in general, because people, like, when they think dinosaurs, you think, oh, it's just lizards. But there were like any creature that was alive during that time is considered a dinosaur. So like there's birds of prey that existed through like multiple periods in like those prehistoric times. I was watching a documentary that Morgan Freeman did like narration on it, and I was like, I'm learning so much right now.
Was it March of the Penguins?
No.
Because he narrated that.
Yeah.
And when I went to go see, side note, when I went to go see March of the Penguins in the theaters, I think they pumped something in the theaters to make it smell like fish, because it did. Just wanted to say that, because I've never not thought of it.
I think someone was there that didn't bathe.
Who needs a 4D documentary? The fuck?
I was like, the 4D documentary. The fuck?
Yeah. What is this? The Muppets at Disney World? For fuck's sakes.
Why is it a scratch and sniff? I don't want to go to.
Oh, Lord.
Oh no. God damn it.
God damn, we lost it fucking already.
L.
So where has the raptor toe gone? Like, has that just evolved out of history of animals?
It definitely. Well, I mean, it still exists in like some birds. You look at like their talons and stuff. Do the chickens have large talons?
Thinking the same fucking thing. Same fucking thing.
Oh, I don't have anything to hydrate with. Fuck.
You're gonna have to
I'll suffer.
sip that sweet water of air. We had, like this.
Have a little bit of water. After that, I have beer. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what.
Allie, you scare me sometimes.
Sometimes? That's a compliment.
But sometimes is like 80% of the time. That's just a large chunk of our friendship sometimes.
It is, and I apologize for
because
something.
sometimes Allie will just so Jugs, we have a thing that that'll happen every now and then where Allie will start a joke and I will just not understand the joke is like happening and I'll just create a punchline. So like our favorite joke is one where Allie was like, "Hey Max, how do you make a hormone?" And I had to think about it for a second and my answer was, "You put it in her." What it is, I have no idea. But it was not the punchline Allie was looking for. I just didn't grasp it.
It's the one I got, and honestly, it's my favorite. I stand that punchline. The original punchline was "You kick her in the cunt," but I'm really glad that Max understood the assignment and came at it with a different angle, because everything he says, even if it's sus, is filled with just humbleness.
Yes.
That's what makes it 10 times funnier.
And it's like iced over with a little bit of like fake innocence too.
Yeah. The same stuff that like Cornhusk shows has, that fake innocence, right?
Yeah.
He's the most fake. He's got the most frosting out of all these fucking streamers out here.
Yeah, it just
unloads
frosting everywhere. What?
He unloads frosting. If I had to unload frosting, I would love the vanilla with the funfetti. That frosting. As a kid, Jugs, have you ever taken like a scoop of that, or like a scoop of something like decadent like that frosting?
Allie,
Just talk to me.
I'm 300 fucking pounds. You name something, I've probably tried doing it. I got so high one night, I was like, I need to eat something. I'm starving. I took a hot dog roll, spread peanut butter in it, and then shoved Oreo cookies into it and ate it. That was my dinner one night.
That's only Chads eat Oreo hot dogs.
Oreo peanut butter hot dogs.
What is this, the Parent Trap? The fuck?
Yeah, you guys can enjoy your pig lips and dicks. I'm gonna have diabetes.
My mom, Jugs, my mom got so wasted one night. She said she went to go make a sandwich.
Oh God.
She came out with a banana peel, stuffed cat food. She just started eating.
What the fuck? That really takes the cake.
Oh my God.
That's something.
What I'm trying to say is, when we feel things, when we feel stoned, when we feel drunk, we don't care what it is, as long as it's sandwich shaped.
Yeah.
The other day in D&D, one of the party members, he says that in game, he says that he eats bananas for the shape, not the flavor, and I can't stop laughing about it.
You taste shapes.
He tastes shape.
Yeah, I can smell colors too. That guy's
I was gonna say I can hear colors.
Everything is just a tool show to him.
Oh my! Can I show you my Maynard impression?
Yes.
Okay, ready? I've only seen Pussifer live, so this is him Pussifer live.
Got
Okay,
it.
ready?
Nailed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all he does. And then if it's Tool, he's like, oh, my fucking pillow just fell off. Thanks, magnets. Oh my god. On the topic of eating weird things and doing strange things when you're high.
Yes.
Quick story. I remember one night I'm sitting at home. My mom and her boyfriend at the time get home from the bar. He's a little toasty. My mom's wasted. And I was like, okay, and like I put on TV. We're just like sitting there goofing and laughing and watching TV, and door opens up. My sister comes walking and she looks over at me and her eyes are as red as the devil's dick. And I was like, oh boy. And I was like, well, it's a good thing mom's drunk because she won't even recognize it. And then she immediately looks at her and she goes, oh, honey, your eyes are all red. Have you been crying? And my sister in her absolute fucking Cheech and Chong brain just goes, no, it's cold out. And I'm like, I was like, what are you doing? The look I shot her was just, you're a fucking idiot. And then, of course, my mom goes, it is cold out. Yeah, okay.
Dude, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's cold out. If I ever get pulled over and I'm high and they say that, that's what I'm going to say. That is absolutely incredible. I have a good one. So I get high in the parking lot of Friendly's. Are you guys familiar with Friendly's?
Yeah.
I'm in Massachusetts.
Restaurant?
Yes, I know what Friendly's is.
All right. So listen, this is actually a very rare thing we're doing right now. We have all East Coasters, and we're all back to back.
Yeah.
Pretty much states. We're all back to back states. Yeah, we're close to each other. So I'm thinking of like, you know, people who don't live by us, they have no idea what fucking Friendly's is. But I lived off of Friendly's when I was young. I was in 12th grade, and me and my two friends from BOCES were like, let's get high in the car and then go into Friendly's and eat and like, let's get everything. So we baked in the car. And then we go immediately into Friendly's. So that's mistake number one, because we fucking reek, right? We're trying to be cool, right? You're walking in there, you're like, ooh, I'm not, you know, you're trying hard.
I'm not high.
I'm not high. that's not, I'm not high jiggle. That's 100% what it is. That's what it is. Or you just raise a little bit, a little more confidence. So they're like, they sit us all the way in the back, right? And then we order 3 things of chicken, just like chicken platters, right? And then after that, 3 separate Jim Dandies, which is 12 scoops of ice cream, I believe. And we are just sitting there. And after the Jim Dandies have been devoured, the waitress comes over and says, would you guys like anything else? And one of my friends looks at her and goes, I think I'd like another round of chicken fingers. Another chicken fingers. We eat all of this and we go back to my mom's house. Now, my mom is like religious. She won't let poltergeist or exorcist be in the house because it brings the devil in, you know, as one of those. So if she caught me high, I'm going to get beat, right? So I'm like, we got to play it cool.
Don't smoke that Satan's cabbage. How dare you?
The devil's lettuce. So we walk in, and when you walk into my childhood home, right away on the right-hand side is a big screen TV. And it's playing a cartoon movie about a tree house, and these little animals are trying to get the medicine for their squirrel friend. I don't remember what it's called, but all 3 of us stop. And we just watch. As we stand right at the precipice of the door, and we just watch the movie. We smell. It's awful. My mom's boyfriend at the time looked at us and went, like winked, and I'm like, no! She never said anything, but I just remember the feeling of being so fucking high that walking into my mom's house and seeing that movie playing. It was like a Fievel type of movie. I was just like, oh my God, I can't move. I'm entranced. Like I'm so fucking high. But we have this. We have this fucking treehouse. God.
It just latched on. Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Been there.
Oh my God. It's so good. One time real quick, I got so high in the parking lot of a Chinese buffet. I don't know what's wrong with me and food, like smoking in parking lots and then going to eat. It was like my favorite thing to do when I was young. And we smoke and then we go into the Chinese buffet and I sit down. I no longer can move. I cannot move. Yeah. So I just asked my friends to get me pineapple chunks all night long. All I needed was pineapple chunks. I paid $16 for a buffet so I can just eat pineapple chunks. My legs didn't move. I couldn't do it. It was sour diesel, and I couldn't do it. So every time I smoke sour D, I think about it. I'm just like, it's time for pineapples.
Oh God, your tongue must have hated you too. The pineapple just ripped it apart.
Oh my God. Oh, absolutely. I just had like a bunch of like turkey burgers and 3 cups of coffee. If I yell Thundercats a go, please change my camera to a poop emoji because I have to leave for a minute.
Oh my God.
And Max is like, I'm very sorry, everyone.
I'm listening to all these high stories. Meanwhile, I've never done drugs in my life.
Good for you, bud. I'm proud of you.
Stay that way. That's good. You'll
I've
save
only
a lot
been
of money.
slightly tipsy in my life.
Yeah, and that led to one of the best fucking memes
Jugs.
in the entire world. Can you tell, Jugs?
So, Jugs, were you there during Allie's last birthday stream?
I think I stopped you for a bit.
So,
yeah, I stopped you for a bit for it. Yeah.
So, yeah, we were playing the quarry, and there's a scene in the quarry where Jacob makes a joke about putting a hole in a watermelon and like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we get to this scene, I am like 3 beers into a 6-pack.
Playing a quarry drinking game.
Yeah.
So every time they say bears drink, like that kind of thing.
So I'm like 3 beers in, and I'm just sitting there laughing to myself hysterically, and everyone's like, what's up, Max? What's going on over there? And the thing that started the whole like comparing, so I just start comparing like people and things to watermelons and Jacob. And so my first thought is corn husk is Jacob, and Bigfoot is a watermelon.
Oh. What the?
Oh, don't worry, it gets worse.
Oh, great.
So then, like, maybe like 1 or 2 beers later, I'm just sitting there, and Power comes in, and we're all just talking to him, and like I think I'd like left to like go get like some water or something, and I come back, and Allie's like, "Hey, your boyfriend's here," and I was like, "Oh, Power, my watermelon," and everyone just bursts out laughing. Like everyone just like starts laughing so hard. And then because of that statement, it is canonically proven that I am the reason Power has back problems.
No, I think that's me, because actually I have to tell you, while you think you're his boyfriend, he's my baby mama. He impregnated me with a seahorse, because the male seahorse carries the babies.
Yeah. No, he impregnated you. Yeah, so you have back problems because of him. I gave him back problems.
No, you gotta understand something. In the land of human seahorse hybrids, you have to fuck each other at the same time. Some people would refer to the first half of it as fucking, and the second half of it as pegging. So take your choice. No dying.
Wait,
Jesus Christ.
Can you go over that with me one more time? The male seahorses are the ones that carry the eggs.
Yes.
So Power impregnated you, or you impregnated Power?
Yes. Listen, like I said, the world of seahorse human hybrids is very, very complicated. We'll put it that way.
Complicated's a good word.
It's like imagine two seahorses.
Like docking your tails.
No, we both have circumcised tails, so it didn't work. One of them has to be uncircumcised. Yeah, but good call.
This is right. Asking the important question. This is incredible.
Yeah, no, just imagine two seahorses that also have human legs and arms, and they're 69ing and like just snowballing both of their contents in and out in a circle. And eventually one of our eggs got implanted. It was like, cool, we're done, because you can feel it in your soul instantaneously.
So you're claiming that you're the one who gave Power the back problems.
Yes.
By doing this act of fucking?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Max, did you know you had...
Like, Max knows some more information on this. I was actually reading about this in National Geographic.
She said it so confidently. She was like, I gotta get to the bottom of this. Max, you have answers.
Stress pain's coming out. I just wanted to ask you, Max, did you know that how do you feel after finding out about this competition here?
It's not a competition.
It's not a competition because Jugs is winning.
No, it's not winning. It's won. Past tense. It's over.
Yeah.
You're just a spring fling to him. Trust me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Power's just using you.
Well,
yeah.
Yep. You know, you heard it here first, guys.
The other thing too, with the lands of the hybrid seahorse humans, is the gestation period is like 15 years. So I'm gonna be like Bonnie from Family Guy.
Oh, Joe. Do you think I'll ever have this baby?
Oh my.
Peter, maybe.
Peter, what?
Joe, what are all these parallelograms doing here?
They bring him to the strip joint. He's getting lap dances. Why do you bring me here?
Why do you bring me?
Oh my word.
Oh my god, this is so fucking good.
Welcome back to Scary for a Pleasure, where we remember Joe Hendry. I'm Max.
Oh no, you can't say his fucking name!
You said his name!
Oh no. I hope you don't have blurps set up.
I don't. And our
lucky you.
Our guest this month is the lovely Juggernaut.
Yay!
Hi everybody.
And if you all understood that reference, you're cool. And if you
it's
didn't,
the name of the podcast.
You can
this
still
month.
Yeah.
Good.
GIT space GUD.
I'm actually very impressed, Max. That was very heartwarming of Max making a wrestling reference. I get asked this question frequently because Jugs and I love wrestling, and we share a lot of the same favorite favorite wrestlers. My mouth just stopped working, and one of those wrestlers is Adam Cole, and his thing is
Adam Cole,
baby! Throw up those fingies, right? So when I see Jugs, I go, Juggy Jugs, baby! Why are you calling him baby? And I'm like, baby! I'm just like, obviously you're just not cool. I'm just kidding. But if you want to get into wrestling, what a great time to be a wrestling fan. So
yeah, there's something for everybody. However you like pro wrestling, there's so much.
Yeah. For sure. Who is your favorite wrestler at the moment?
Oh, Jesus. I guess I'll have to give two answers to this. I'll say basically someone that's in WWE that I wish wasn't, and then just someone outside of that realm. So
Yeah.
I would say it might even be a tie. Fuck. Yeah, I would say Kevin Owens. I would love to see the return of Kevin Steen. Maybe not the Steenalizer. That move makes my back hurt. And then Tommaso Ciampa, just because the Psycho Killer needs to come back. That dude fucking rules.
Chugs, this is I'll like seriously. This is why we like fucking get along so well, because fucking Tommaso Ciampa, Tomato Champs, he is just the fucking best. He's been the best. Fucking yeah, Psycho Killer. Like I was obsessed with him. I got to see him wrestle live at NXT Brooklyn. I'm so glad that I got to. But yeah,
nice.
No, fuck yeah, dude.
That rules. And then in terms of people outside of the Fed, oh boy, that's a tough one, because there's a lot, but I think I'm still just so hooked up from all the way back to the PWG days. I can't get enough of fucking Malachi Black. I want him to fight everybody and kick all of their fucking jaws off into the front row.
That great segue is so knowing that and saying that, how did you feel 2 to 3 AEWs ago when Bebe kicked out of the Black Mass? Because I'll be honest with you, I was feeling not okay with that. But I love both of those wrestlers so much. How did you feel?
So knowing going into it, because they even made it like very clear on the broadcast that I think they had fought 5 or 6 times between PWG, NXT, and any other indies they may have crossed paths on. It was like 5 or 6 matches, and Black has won all of them. And I was like, okay, so Cole's gonna win tonight. That's fine with me. Mm-hmm. And so when he hit the Black Mass, I told my friend, I was like, he's gonna kick out of it. I actually said he's gonna kick out at 1, and it was just a near fall, and I was like, okay. I was like, but it's I guess I kind of saw it coming, so it didn't shock me as much.
Oh.
Because the thing I find with wrestling nowadays, and this isn't like a negative, but I mean, because I'm not fucking Jim Cornette, so
yeah.
The finishing moves aren't as protected as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that can build that in the right areas. It builds up drama. But like, if you're gonna have like a squash match, if you have fucking Powerhouse Hobbs taking on a local jobber, no, mm-hmm. he's gonna hit his spine buster. He's gonna hit the slam and then pin. That's it. Done. You don't mm-hmm. need someone to kick out of that.
Yeah.
So it's context. Yeah. So it's context ultimately. Because even Kenny, like Ibushi kicked out of the One-Winged Angel before.
I was gonna say, but that's only one. And the One-Winged Angel, I would argue, was probably the most protected move in all of wrestling.
The only other person that kicks out of it all the time is Kenny.
Yeah. There was actually one point in NXT where what was his name? He kind of had a dad bod. He's not there anymore. He did the One-Winged Angel to somebody.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and I forget. Man, I'm so mad that I cannot remember who it was. Cowboy kind of Cassius.
Oh, Cassius Ohno.
Cassius Ohno.
Chris Hero. Yeah.
Chris Hero. Yeah. He as Cassius Ohno, he did a One-Winged Angel to somebody.
Oh my God,
or somebody did it to him and he kicked out. It was one of the two, because I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you know, when you're yelling at the screen, you're just like, that's Kenny's. I'm like, you can't do that. The fuck? But I didn't see that coming. I didn't take notice to like, oh, he's thinking he's gonna win. I see Malachi Black and Adam Cole, and I'm like, okay, I don't know who's gonna win. But then when he hits the Black Mass, I'm like, that's a pretty protected move. I didn't expect Cole to kick out. I don't know. And the crowd booed it.
Yeah, they did.
And they booed him twice in a row. And I'm like, what's happening, baby?
Yeah. No, and I think it's just because I think people expected him to come back and be a heel still with how he handled everything with Max. But yeah, it's just injuries really fucked over a lot of storylines in the past couple of years, and I think that's kind of come back to hurt a lot of the imagination that fans have. But I just hope that people are getting healthier and we get people back. I mean, I'm like a week and a bit behind, so I have no idea if there's been any returns or anything recently. I do a good job of avoiding like wrestle Twitter the best I can, anyways, because it's just an absolute cesspool of
Yeah.
bots and people that are trying to say they're human beings. They're not. What the
Yeah. I watch like Wrestle Talk, like the next day because I don't watch WWE live. I'll do AEW live, but not WWE unless it's a pay-per-view, and that's when I get kind of like my news of what's happening storyline wise and stuff like that. But would Cole and the heel faction of Undisputed Era have worked well if he didn't get injured? Yeah, I think so. I think that storyline would have been cool. I absolutely love heel Adam Cole as much as I love face Adam Cole, and the Undisputed Era is, I mean, one of the best factions, and I'm a fan of factions. I love factions. Give me factions. So it would have been great. It would have. Unfortunately, injuries happen, and if they tried to bring Adam Cole back as a heel, it wouldn't have worked. Like they're trying to get something out of Adam Cole right now being a face, and he can do it. He's great on the mic. He's a great performer. Does he need to fix his fucking spray tan? Because I think that he's like getting sick every week. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
and somebody
so
needs
gross.
to tell him, unless it's becoming fucking storyline. Someone needs to tell him because this is insane. He looks radioactive.
Well, he's fortunately not jaundiced because when he went to hit low the boom or whatever, he lowered the knee pad and it was just white knee. I'm like, dude, is this your first time? So
this is your first spray tan, yeah.
Yeah. So my theory that, I mean, outside of the injuries, and then obviously like we got to get Max to be a heel again because he works best as a heel, not as a face.
Oh, just by the way, Max, as in Max the Grim Reaper, has no idea why we keep saying Max.
Yeah, I'm just kind of here.
I didn't mention MJF at all in the conversation, so we're talking about story. There is another wrestler called Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and that is who Jugs is referring to. But I'd like you to think that it's referring to you, if you don't mind.
Commonly referred to by Roosh as MJF.
MJF. Roosh.
You mess with the bull, you get the herns. 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 Oh, God.
I'm dead.
Roosh, awesome in the ring. Outside of the ring, piece of fucking garbage. Don't care for that human being at all.
He looks like trash.
So, you recall Stephanie Vakir. She was, so her, I think, boyfriend or fiance, something, she was with somebody. He attempted to murder her. And she was
attempted to murder her?
Yes, she's like, I'm out. So he got arrested and put in prison. Roosh and Dralistico, was it Dralistico or Dragon Lee? Fuck, one of them. One of the D's from Mexico. They booked and fundraised a show in Mexico to raise money to get him out of prison. I'm like, that's so fucked up. So like when they had Forbidden Door and Stephanie Vakir had the match there right before she went to NXT, Roosh all of a sudden just disappeared off of TV like 2 weeks beforehand, and people were like, what's going on? Is he hurt? It's like, no, because Tony was like, you're a fucking idiot, and I'm not about to fuck this up with Stephanie. And then, well,
left, yeah.
Holy
shit, I had no idea. Holy crap. Yeah, because she premiered at AEW, then she like left right away.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, no,
okay.
It's good for her. Like I don't see any problem with it. It's ultimately it's a business. You have two major promotions that are consistently butting heads and trying to outbid each other. Get as much money as you can. Go for it. I would love to see her come back to AEW and get in some other matches soon, but we'll see.
Yeah, she was good. I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
Do you like go ahead. No, you go.
I was gonna say the other woman wrestler that NXT got that AEW didn't was Julia from Stardom.
Julia.
Yeah,
There's another Julia on the roster. They can't have two Julias in AEW.
So you can't call her Julia.
We'll call her Julia and then Julia. Julia.
Oh god. Well, anyway, we do have two Adams.
We do. We have Adam Page.
Two Adams. No, we have three Adams. Two of them are Adam C's. We have Adam Cole, Adam Copeland, and Adam Hangman Page.
Oh shit, that's a lot of Adams. They're all great. I guess those two Julias need to be great too if they wanna keep being Julias together, right?
That would have ruled, yeah.
You and Max. I don't know, Max. What band shirt are you wearing?
What band shirt am I wearing? This is Shobu's merch.
Oh, so that's funny. It looked like a band merch shirt.
No, this is
our
lovely teammate Shobu's merch.
I love that.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I dig the logo.
Yeah, me too. It's like metal as shit.
Yeah.
Max has been like super excited to talk music with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kid you not. Every like almost every day for the past month, I've sent Jugs at least one form of music.
And every time I'm like, I need a sword.
Yeah, because all I've been sending him is just really good power metal.
Power metal's my favorite too.
It's not my cup of tea, but as I told him, I'm like, at least you're sending me stuff that's good and I can listen to the whole song.
Yeah.
Like, the only other time I could really listen to power metal because it was more like a meme was, I can't remember the name of the fucking band, but they do that song. It's like, the music video is them playing curling, and it's like, hearts on fire, burning with desire.
Oh, what is that band?
It's so fucking corny, and that music video absolutely sent me over the edge, because you think power metal, Hammerfall, yes. So you would think in power metal, like the music videos they have are these over the top, like they're playing on a mountaintop and there's like a storm raging or something, or some war-oriented thing, or you're just watching Sabaton movies or something, and then you get to this and they're just playing curling.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh god.
But yeah, I like a lot of like the underground power metal. I think because I don't like the like real poppy shit. Like I don't like I don't like Dragon Force.
Yeah, I saw Dragon Force. It was probably a year and a half before Guitar Hero 3 put out Through the Fire and the Flames, and they blew the fuck up. Because they played on, I think it was Ozfest 06 that I went to. Yeah, and they opened the main stage, and like they first, I don't remember like the order of the songs they played, but they played the first song. I was like, oh, they're not bad. And then every song started sounding the same, and I was like, all right, this band's not great. And I realized halfway through, I'm like, this band, like, everyone on that stage is trashed. They're so fucking hammered. I'm like, oh my god. And then they closed with Valley of the Damned, which is to this day is the only song I can listen to by them and be like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. But like, other than that, I'm like, yeah, this isn't really for me.
Yeah.
But I get it. If you love fucking noodling on guitars and just being as corny as you can on guitars, then it's definitely a band for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the heaviest that I go, and I think it's purely for nostalgia purpose or reasons, is Cradle of Filth.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about Cradle of Filth, but I love them. I think Danny Filth is so cool. I love his high like range in some parts. I like anytime he's in like songs, I'm like, oh, this is so good. Like I don't know, I love Cradle of Filth so much.
So then this is interesting. Are you invested in the metal grouping that is going to be Danny Filth and what is his name? It's not Edward Furlong. That's the kid from Terminator. Redhead Irish kid, pop singer.
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, yes. Ed Sheeran and Danny Filth are doing a metal band together. Because Ed Sheeran actually likes some heavy metal, apparently. I had no idea.
Fucking Ginger.
I was about as shocked as when, I think it was Jimmy Fallon at the time, had Demi Lovato on, and she was like, "Yeah, I love some bands like Job for a Cowboy and Mailing the Sons of Disaster," and I was like,
Yeah.
"What? Why are you the coolest person on this show now? What the fuck?"
Mailing the Sons of Disaster? What is it?
Mailing and the Sons of Disaster. So, let's see. I'm assuming I'll know the answer to this, but do you know of the band Under Oath?
Yes.
The original singer, when they were like heavier and less pop punk,
Yeah.
and probably less Christian too, I think. He ended up leaving, so he had departed from the band, and he went and made Mailing the Sons of Disaster. So it's almost like a more like southern rock version of like Every Time I Die, if you know them.
Yes,
Which
I
is
do.
yeah. So all right, I mean, I would assume you do because
I saw them live one time.
So you've
at a
seen
bar,
so you saw the Butcher live. Look at that.
That's right. That's right. I have seen the Butcher live. I keep forgetting that he's
Andy.
He's in the band. Yeah. And I love how his voice doesn't match what he looks like.
Yeah.
Like I love it when like giant men have little voices. Just like, oh, it's you're less threatening.
Oh jeez. There was something else I wanted to ask and I can't remember. It was something music oriented. No. I should have written it down. Someone take the conch shell for me.
I remember being a teenager and seeing a music video that like enthralled me. And I was like, what is this? I need to know more. And it turned out to be, I can't tell you what song it was. I could describe the video, but it was a Dimmu Borgir song.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like, there was lots of organs, lots of just like a castle, and I'm just like, maybe it's like through the something and the something. I don't remember what, but I was like, what is that? And ever since then, like I just love when like there's like organs in songs. I love it when people like paint their face. Like I like all that. I like, oh, I love that shit.
Yeah.
I was watching Eurovision, and one of the entries in Eurovision was this band called Lordi.
Oh,
And
Timu Guar.
Yeah.
So imagine I watch it comes on whatever, they're like, and they do Hard Rock Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And I thought that sounded so New York. And they did Hard Rock Hallelujah. And I was just like, I'm like, this is just war. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is awesome. I love it. I'm like, oh, I just want more like that. I just want more bands like that.
My brain recalled what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So you brought up Danny Filth. Quick plug. So I write for Ghost Cult Magazine, ghostcultmagazine.com. So I do like album reviews. So I have to at some point today actually get through and listen to the new Opeth album because it's been I have access to it and I have to write the review because it comes out on Friday. So spoiler alert, that's dropping soon. So before my time at Ghost Cults, this is probably 12, 13 years ago, I was writing for a much smaller group. It was just a local friend of mine started up a thing called Thrash Mag, and it's unfortunately defunct and gone now. He ended up he got a family. He's actually a town selectman, so he's busy.
He got a family.
Yeah.
You know?
What? He went and picked one up at Walmart, you know? So he had all of these fucking great stories from interviews that he did. I mean, like, that he showed me the video of when he interviewed Kerry King, and Kerry King was the biggest piece of shit to him. He was just like, man, you're asking me dumb questions. I'm going to give you dumb answers. And I was like, well, this is Kerry King. This is expected. And then he told me about, the time he interviewed OTEP. And he was like, I've never been so uncomfortable in my entire life. That girl is on a different dimensional plane. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. She was talking about the spirits that lived on the tour bus with them. And I'm like, okay, like, fine. Like, that's cool. He said, however, the most ridiculous interview he's ever done was Danny Filth.
Oh my God.
He got like 2 or 3 questions in. He goes, so tell me, because obviously you guys were... you pretty much brought black metal to England. It wasn't really like, there were obviously smaller bands at the time, but they're the ones that were like, let's add symphonic orchestration to it and let's stand out. And they were big, they were massive. And he's like, so I'm curious, what were your influences? Like, was it the Norwegian black metal bands, or is it like the second, third generations? And he's like, I don't have any influences. I'm my only influence. And my
What
buddy
a
just
Chad.
goes, my buddy just goes, have a good day. Stands up and fucking leaves. Like, okay,
What a
bud.
Chad.
That's how you're gonna answer a question. Like, come on, I'm my only influence. You know why he's a piece of shit and he's mean like that, Jugs? It's because he's like 5'1" and has to wear platforms when he fucking walks. So fuck you, Danny Phil. Be nicer. I'm gonna listen to the shit out of all of your music still. So.
He's black metal Danzig.
Yeah. I want to
Yes.
get back to no,
Sorry.
I love that.
Sorry. I
No,
love
I wanna-
Danzig's music, unfortunately.
I want to get back to the magazine, but I wanted to say beforehand that I have, when I was a teenager, all I did was go to shows. I went to a concert a month. I'm privileged that I lived on Long Island, which is close to New York City. So we had a couple of local venues at the time on Long Island, but then you also had a train ride to Manhattan, Brooklyn, you know, wherever you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go very early so that I can possibly meet the band. I was one of those people.
Same.
So I've met so many comes to celebrities, but I don't even know if they're celebrities. So many musicians, and the two meanest ones that I have ever met. And I'm just gonna give it to them. When you're this talented, I guess you can be an asshole. So I met Ronnie Radke.
Huge piece of shit.
Escape the Fade and Falling in Reverse. Does he have the most beautiful voice in the world? Yes. Is he a fucking dick? Yes. So I met him and he was an asshole. And Max Bemis from Say Anything. Not a metal band, but kind of like an
I don't
alt
say
band.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, Say Anything. He was a fucking dick.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's
because the
I was
music
like,
does
what
not
up
sound
there?
like he would be a dick.
No, and like he talks about he has like anxiety and stuff like that, but then don't be so available for me to talk to you. He was like standing like right where everyone else was standing. The best experience I've had at a concert was my mom is so dumb. Okay, I just want to point that out.
What a transition!
Before I go back,
love
my mom
this
is
story. This story is my favorite.
Yeah, so it's my favorite is that I was seeing Bayside at a place called, I don't know what it's
Bayside.
called. No, it wasn't. It was in Levittown, but I don't think the place exists anymore. Paramore, when they were very first album was barely out. They were opening up. And I told my mom dropped me off, and I told her to pick me up at a certain time. Well, the concert didn't start till an hour or so later. So when she got there, she was like, I'm here to pick up my kid. You can't come in without a ticket, ma'am. And my mom, flirted her way in. So I'm in the front row, Drugs, okay?
Yeah.
Bayside is playing, the band that I came to see. And through the back curtain comes my mother. I don't know how she got there, Jugs. She got lost or whatever, but through the curtain comes my mom, and she taps the guitarist on the shoulder.
What the
And she goes,
"That's my daughter."
Right? And then he goes, and then he goes, "Happy birthday, Allison." Jugs, it's not my birthday. Wasn't even close. Wasn't even close.
Oh my god. Oh,
I don't know what happened. How she did
incredible.
that. But that's how that fucking happened. How did you end up writing for? Because I just recently saw, I'm so out of the loop, that you write for magazine, and in my head I was like, oh, a horror magazine, and this is a music magazine. How did you get into this? And like, do artists send you their music to review? Does a company do it? Like, how do you obtain the music?
So, origin story. So I met this guy named Don. Created Thrash Mag. My best man at my wedding, his wife was playing like adult rec league volleyball in like their town, and he was also playing, and they ended up being on the same team. Like they got friendly, started shooting the shit, and he was talking about like the music he listens to, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds like what my husband listens to. You guys should talk." And they got talkative, and then I got dragged into it. And he was like, "I'd love to have you both on the staff if you want to." And I was like, "Cool." I'm like, "What do I was like, what are?" I said, "Obviously, I'm not gonna ask you to pay me because I've never done this before. Like, but I'll do it for fun." And he was like, "Yeah, man. Like, you'll get free music. It comes in early, usually, 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks early. But anything more than that is kind of a crapshoot because they don't want stuff to leak out."
Yeah.
And if it does too, like if I go and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, guys, here's copies of the Opeth album." If that got out, it's all watermarked specifically to me, so they would know where it came from. So it's like, which is good for them for protecting themselves.
Yeah.
So after Don got really busy with life, Thrash Magazine kind of just it tailspun, and it was just me doing articles for a while. And I was like, I can't keep up with this because I was also in college at the time. So I was like, yeah, I'm done. And I was like, 6 months went by. Now, meanwhile, like you, I was going to shows once, twice, 3 times a month, sometimes multiple times a week. That could be either taking the train into Boston to a ton of their club venues, or I'm like driving out to Worcester to the Palladium and seeing bands play there. Regardless, I was, for whatever dumb reason, a 6'3" individual was like, I'm gonna sit up at the barricade every single fucking show because I want to get, yeah. So I want to get
You're blocking our view.
I'm like, I want to get guitar picks, I want to get drumsticks, I want to get set lists. I have a shoebox up in my closet filled with shit that I've amassed over the years. But after a handful of stiletto heels smacked me in the top of the head, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this anymore. But being up front all that time, I got to know like a lot of the local photographers. So if you've ever heard of returntothepit.com, he's been around for like 20 something years. He just photographs all the local shows. He'll travel for festivals. So he's known as the Rev. Met him, shot the shit with him a ton of times. But there's this other guy who's actually from, I think he's from Brooklyn. I think it is Brooklyn. He moved up to Watertown, Mass for a while, and he was doing photography work for all those different shows. He used to be in a couple metal bands back in like the mid 90s and stuff. So he just always been in the scene. And we got super talkative like every time, like in between bands or like outside after the show. So his name is Keith. And one day he messaged me on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, can I steal you from Don? I'm really behind on promos, and I enjoy your writing." And I was just like, "Oh, dude, Thrash Mag is gone." I'm like, if you have a spot, I'll gladly take it." And he was like, "Oh, please, yeah." So like the really quick, like, "Hey, can you do a favor for me?" has been over a decade.
Nice.
So
Look at that.
yeah. So what I do, I will say, it has become less and less in terms of interviews. I used to get onto guest lists for shows pretty often because I'd be doing an interview with the band, someone from the band, and or just reviewing the show in and of itself. Those don't really happen as much anymore. Really like a year or two leading up to COVID, and then afterwards it's basically nilch. I haven't done a show review in years. Interviews are sparse just because we have an interview team, and they kind of want me to do a bit more. They want to do me like a once a month type of thing. Unfortunately, it crashed real quick because the latest one I was supposed to interview 200 stab wounds, and I had it booked up with their PR and everything. I'm like, "Oh, we're good to go. Like we interview them like what we're doing now." And I recorded on Zoom. I send it up to their video, our video editor, and he goes through and puts it together, and they post it and everything. But he straight up ghosted me. And then every time I tried to like rebook it, we couldn't figure out a time. And then eventually the PR just stopped replying to my emails, and I was like, sick. So it does happen. But I've done like I think there was one other one I did with I don't remember his last name, Shelby something or other. He's in like I don't know 30 fucking bands. We were specifically going over the Ulthar double album that was coming out. Um, and he was telling me that he had a new project lined up, but he couldn't say what it was. And I was like, well, I'm excited either way. And then, of course, like 3 months later, it was announced that Shelby was the new guitarist in Nails. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. Didn't realize Prog Death Guy that was super nerdy was going to be in such a, like, scary power violence band. So
I've never heard of them before.
Nails? Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God. So it's Todd Jones is this, he's like the sole, he's the only guy left that was the original. But he was the driving force behind it. He's just a pissed off IT worker. And so it was like a weekend warrior thing that just took off. And he would use like some vacation time from his job to do like short, like bursts of tours. And then like reportedly he could be a huge fucking piece of shit to work with because he's a control freak, and it's when you're in a band you kind of want it to be more like a democracy than a dictatorship. So I get it. So everyone was in it left, and then he got Shelby to play guitar. I don't remember who the bassist was, but they also have the drummer of Warbringer.
Nice.
Oh, you do?
I love Warbringer.
Yeah. That was probably that is by far, even though I've interviewed Christos from Septic Flesh twice. Awesome fucking symphonic death metal band, by the way, from Greece. Fantastic. I've interviewed him twice, and he recognized me the second time, so it's amazing. Nice. However, John, the vocalist from Warbringer, coolest fucking interview I've ever done. I missed like almost all of Symphony X's set just to go talk with him and do the interview. The interview lasted probably 20, 25 minutes. And then we shot the shit for 2 hours about StarCraft 2. And I was just like, awesome. Well, Iced Earth is doing their encore. I think I'm going to go home now. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so when it comes to getting the music, sorry about the tangent. So
this is Tangents the podcast. Yeah. Every guest we ever have goes, sorry for the tangent. And then I say the same thing. I'm like, this is Tangent the podcast. This is exactly what we love.
So the way that we get music is so every week or so there's like an email that goes around to like the whole team. And it's like, oh, what do we like here's what we have. The full list of like things we want to cover, and they'll like color code it to things that are like, we have it, but we don't have it assigned. We don't have it yet, and it either is or isn't assigned. And like anything that's open, you can basically volunteer for. So I had volunteered for Opeth like 3 months ago because that new track dropped, and I was like, oh, death metal again. It's not prog rock. Holy shit! Like I'm in. And I was told like, yeah, you could do it, dude, absolutely. And then I took a leave of absence when I got laid off because I was like, I don't want to waste any of my time doing other stuff. Like, no offense. They're like, no, dude, take as much time as you want. So they emailed me like 2 weeks ago, and they're like, hey, not rushing you back or anything, but we have that Opeth promo. It got pushed back a week, so you got plenty of time. But if you're not ready, it's completely cool. We just wanted to make sure, like, if you are ready to come back, it's yours. Otherwise, we'll move it to someone else. And I was like, I'm thinking I'm back. Straight up John Wick's the fuck out of it. But yeah, so the way that it's done, it's either one of two ways that I've got it. So most of the time it's through Holix, which is almost like a SoundCloud for record labels. And it's like you give access to like your playlists and stuff. So that will use, so the Opeth one is 100% stream only. I cannot download it. There's no download button. So I have to pull it up on a browser and listen to it with like the login that's embedded in the link that they sent me. I have no idea what my login is. I just have to click the link. So I get that. Sometimes you can download it. And it used to be back in the day when we had a different guy running the reviews team. He was going into all of them, downloading them, and then putting them up on like WeTransfer or Dropbox, and then giving us the share link, and then we would get it. But yeah, ultimately we work through PR teams, and then if Keith is working specifically like with a record. He's very close with a few record labels. He'll actually go and talk to like a big wig at the label and just be like, "Hey, when can I get this?" And they're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Yeah, you're first on the list, Keith. We got you."
Keith.
Yeah, he's very well known, very well respected in the metal community and the hardcore community. So it's like, yeah, he can, even to the point where he still can't, but he can't get photography passes, but he still gets guest listed anytime he wants to go see like Tool or Perfect Circle or anything, because he's a massive Maynard fan.
Who wouldn't be?
Surprisingly, a lot of people, but that's okay.
Yeah. So he's one of the best songwriters and vocalists in my opinion. I enjoy. I have not seen Tool live, but I really liked Pussifer live.
I just saw Tool live for the first time. The last like 3 tours, something came up or I was double booked. Like I remember I went to one of my sister's friend's 21st birthday gatherings. It was at a Howl at the Moon in Boston. And a friend of mine goes, "Yo, so-and-so can't make it to Tool tonight. Do you want to go? The ticket is free." And I was like, and this is when they played at the Garden and opened with Hooker with the Penis. And I was like, fuck, I fucked up. Oh, yeah, it was a bummer. Awesome. They played Push It that night too. I was like, oh, they hit all the fucking songs I wanted to see them play. I'm like, fuck. But I did see them recently. I went up to Manchester, New Hampshire, because it was like a Saturday night versus a Monday night in Boston. I'm like,
okay, yeah,
like I'll. So I went and it was fantastic. I knew we were gonna get a good chunk of like the new album stuff, which is fine. I don't dislike the new album. Is it my favorite work from them? No, but I would put it way over 10,000 Days. I think 10,000 Days was their weakest album. And that's not to shit on it. I just think that The Pod is such a bad song that it brings down my mood for the rest of the album. But then, like, you hear, like, the first song they played, they opened with fucking Zombie. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. So, but they're awesome. I've seen a Perfect Circle live once. I think it was the same venue. No, it was in Portland, Maine. I'm an idiot. That was when the newest Perfect Circle album came out. And again, I was like, we're going to get a lot of the new album, like, whatever. Like, I wasn't super big on it. But all the tracks I liked on it, they played all of them and then went back and played, a bunch of good shit from, like, 13th Step, Mare de Noms, all that shit. And then Pucifer I've seen, like, 3 or 4 times. Honestly, that's my favorite project of Maynard's, which, yeah.
While we're on Tool, I just wanted to tell you, because this is a very dorky thing, and I don't think that I've like ever like told you. I don't know if Max knows this either, but I used to be in a band. I took guitar lessons for 8 years. I played from like in a band from like age 15 to probably like a year or 2 after high school, and one of the last band that I played in, which was a very short time, but we had a little Halloween gig and we had to decide on like a few songs to play. And we ended up going with Stinkfist.
Yeah.
So I got to play Stinkfist at a Halloween party.
That rules.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. One of my good friends, Justin, he back in his like early to mid 20s, he tried out for a tribute band I guess they're still around. They're known as A Perfect Tool, which, what a fantastic name.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, what can be better?
So he was like, because he grew up loving Tool. Like, he remembers the first time he heard fucking Stinkfist on the radio and was like, what the fuck is this? And then Sober and then Schism when like that whole album came out. And he was like, yeah, like I need more of this. And then A Perfect Circle would drop stuff. He was like, oh my God, like this is also really good. So that opening was there, and he was just like, yeah, I think I'll try out for whatever you have, because he did play bass a little bit, but he's much more of like he wants to do vocals. And they're like, yeah, come on and do the tryout. And he actually, so when he was younger, nowadays a little bit different because obviously when you get older things change. But he sounded exactly like Maynard James Keenan.
Wow.
Nice.
So they were like, yeah, dude, you're in. So he spent a lot of time like touring Europe and stuff and playing gigs over there. And Yeah, he
Dreams do come true. Follow your
Yeah.
dreams. Never give up. This man is Maynard Jane Keenan. Now.
Well, that's unfortunately that was what ended up causing him to kind of go, yeah, I'm done with this. I want to go home.
Mhm.
He spent all this time singing songs that somebody wrote about their like struggles in life that he did not share, and he was like, it doesn't feel right for me to do this anymore. I don't have the same connection. um so I was just like, oh, I was like, well, is there a band that you feel the connection with? He was just like, I mean, I guess, but none of them have Maynard, and I can only sing like Maynard. That's just how I taught myself how to sing. So
That's so interesting. I wonder if it was making him depressed too, because Maynard does not sing happy songs.
yeah, rarely.
So maybe like him having to like sing like sober over and over and over again is not making him feel good.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is another guy's problem. I'm sad for another guy's problem. You know?
It's like, so many of these songs are about him losing his mom at a younger age, and meanwhile he's like, my mom's completely healthy, she's younger, and every time she comes over she's crawling on the ceiling because she's so fucking high. So it's like...
That's my mom. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, that was his big thing. Nowadays he just he has like his own, I say little, it's big. He has his own PA system, and then like a soundboard and everything. And he, every once in a while, he'll go to town, but it's difficult because where he lives now is like a duplex. He's upstairs with his fiance and his daughter, and then downstairs is like a family of like 3 kids, and I think 2 of them are toddlers, one's like a newborn. So he's like, I can't really find time to scream and sing into a microphone and be like, cause he'll crank the music and everything, and which got me into trouble once at his old house. He used to live with his sister. They had one of those wraparound decks that went around the back of the house. So I went up to his slider door and went to knock on the door, and I could hear A Perfect Circle blasting, and I could hear him singing. I was just like, oh, word. So I walk around the back.
Oh, word.
So I walk around the back, and his screen was broken. It didn't lock, so you could just kind of like pull it out. So I pulled the screen out and then lifted the window, and his back is facing to me, and I crawled through the window onto his bed and then just laid like Kate Winslet, paint me like one of your French girls. And I just sat there, and the second the song ended, I was like, bravo! And he was like, Jesus fuck!
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was something. I was like, now you'll learn how to lock your fucking windows. He still didn't, but
You said before that you wrote about, like, you reviewed live shows as well. How does like reviewing a live show differ as opposed to reviewing an album? Because is it like, okay, how crowded was it, or do they sound the same live as they do in the album? Like, what's your criteria? Like, how do you write about that?
So I like to, without spoiling setlist stuff, I will mention a song or two, like usually like, oh, like this song popped the crowd, blah, 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 blah. I'll talk about like how the pits looked, any like inter song, like banter from like, the musicians on stage. Sometimes I'll mention the weather. Because well, and I know how silly that sounds, but it does matter because it's interesting when you have, you're trying to get to the bathroom and it's the line of people trying to do coat check, and you're like, this isn't the line for the bathroom. So you just kind of like, I like rag on a venue for stuff like that. Even though like most of the venues in Boston fucking rule. So like I have no problems against them, but yeah, most things I do are very positive. And that's not to just like mask anything bad, because there's one infamous show that I went to. So this is back in either 2015 or 2016. For whatever reason, the guy that was doing reviews at the time goes, "Hey, I'm going to send you this album. I think you might like it." And I was like, "Okay, what is it?" And I open up the email, and it's the Rust album from Harm's Way. And I'm just like, cool name. Don't know who the fuck these guys are.
There's an Alec Baldwin joke in there, and I'm trying to find it. Rust, Hard's Way. I'm like, come on.
So I was like, all right, I'll listen to it, and immediately was enthralled. I was like, okay. I'm like, I think, because at the time I was one of those kind of gatekeepy metal kids that was just like, if you do kung fu in the pit, you're a fucking weirdo fighting off invisible ninjas. That's stupid. And like,
Don't you shit on my kung fu in the pit. I
Right.
kung fu and I fucking kung fu the shit out of a pit.
yeah. So I mean, I mean, I've since grown and understood. I'm like, maybe I was wrong about this. But that Harm's Way album completely changed my mind on things, and I was like, wow, I'm like, I need to see this band live at some point. And they were doing a tour with like Twitching Tongues, Malice in the Palace, Homewrecker. Fuck that band. Yeah, which sucks because I gave them literal cash in their hand because their bus had broken down, just like Max is broken down right now.
I was gonna say Max is not okay. He's slowly turning the shade of red that he turns when he's about to need to go to the hospital. Max, what got you,
No,
Max?
just
Starting to get to tomato chips.
okay. So you guys know the opening to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where Tommy does the fucking jump kick?
Yes.
I just imagine Allie doing that in the middle of a circle pit and knocking people out. and all you hear in the background is just bowling pins like falling over.
And of course they have the really old raunchy fucking old bowling alley videos. Can we also talk about how it's so dated that when you get a strike on... Oh, no, I'm sorry. One of them was a fucking spare. There's 2 pins and the bowling ball has airplane wings. I'm like, wow. That didn't age well.
I thought that was just a meme. I didn't know that was actually real.
Oh, that's legit. It's still like, if I go bowl... The town over from me has... so they have a regular, like... 10-pin bowling, and they also have candlepin bowling. I don't know if you guys have candlepin where you are. I know it's like a big New England thing, but I don't know how far it's made it. Basically, the balls, as opposed to you putting 3 fingers in like you're doing a weird version of the shocker, and you're fucking rolling it down or whatever, and it's curving, and you know the pins are like kind of, you know, rotund at the bottom, thick, if some people would call it. Candlepin, the ball is solid. There's no holes in it, and it fits in your palm. And you roll it down, same thing. And at the end, as opposed to like the big thick ones, they're called candlestick bowling because they're just, that's it.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience to bowling. I don't know where it came from or why it's just specifically here, but it's a thing. Where were we before we talked about bowling?
Oh my. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
You were talking about
yeah, the 9/11 joke. Yeah.
Allie can't go to that bowling alley. She's not allowed to go there. She'll get
I
too prideful.
I thought you were gonna say because it was at the World Trade Center and it's gone. Oh, okay.
That makes
No, I was just gonna make a joke.
That also makes logistical sense. I like that. That's like Max's. You put it in her. It's like an alternative.
Yeah.
You know.
You put it in her.
We love all.
Yeah, you put it in her.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I had for a while on my stream, and it wasn't as popular as I thought it was going to be. I called it Mob Talk, MOBTOK. So basically, it was like someone would ask a question in the Channel Point Redemption window. It would then TTS it to me, and then there'd be a countdown on the screen, like 5 seconds, and then buzz at the end of it for me to give an answer. The first one that was ever done was one of my mods, bag of rye. I call her Fry because I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
And her question is what is your favorite way to live dangerously? Meanwhile, I'm playing Just Up, the one that you had to let, you know.
Only
and I just don't pull out. It's like, oops. I'm like, I have to post this on TikTok now. Shit. And of course, my dad's like, my dad goes, huh, I feel the same way. That's how I have 3 kids.
Your dad's the best. I want him to be my dad too.
That's the answer I would have given.
That's not how you spell Mob Talk.
you've been
I spelled it in
you-
Allie's language.
mob
Walk
talk.
talk. Walk talk.
I know I say mob correctly. Excuse
Mob
me.
talk.
I always say taco pizza.
Hot dogs.
Hot dog. It's hot
That's what-
dog.
Hot dog. Hot doggy dog.
So you've been writing for the magazine longer than you've been Twitch streaming.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Oh yeah.
assume, right? So tell me about. So I feel like whenever I talk to a lot of streamers that are specifically horror streamers or horror-iety streamers, their first like year or so of streaming was like specifically Dead by Daylight or some sort of like game to get you into. You don't seem like the DBD type. So what's your upbringing on Twitch? Tell me about your first. How long have you been streaming?
Just past 4 years.
Congratulations on 4
Thank you.
years. That's a long time. And if anyone has been streaming on Twitch for 4 years, you know how much love and dedication it takes to stream that long. So that is fucking awesome.
Don't
so
gas me up like that. I don't leave the house.
this is our podcast. I'm gonna gas you up however.
Gas me up.
I'm gonna gas you up, okay?
That's what she
Oh
said.
my
Yeah.
god, Soul.
Take the cap off and fill me up, Allie.
Oh, I will.
I'm gonna leave.
That's my gas. That's my gas noise. That's my gas fuel noise. So tell me about your upbringings on Twitch. What was the first year looking like for you?
Disjointed is a good word. I definitely was not a DBD person. At the time, Google Stadia was still a thing, and I was still on YouTube Music because Google Play Music shut down and just went to YouTube.
Stadia, yeah.
Yeah, so because I had a YouTube Music account, they offered me basically free Stadia for like 6 months and sent me a free controller, just pay like, I think it was like a $7 shipping. And I was like, okay. So I was like, I'll check it out. Like it's something new and I don't have to pay much for it for a few months. And Dead by Daylight was one of the offerings on there. So I went and played it. You didn't have to download it because it was all cloud-based. So that was the selling point. So I went to play it and I was like, I think I don't want to be on a team with people because I hear this community is kind of toxic. So I was like, I'll just be, the bad guy and just try to kill everybody. And like, I was like, all right, this is okay. And I'm like, man, do they do anything else other than just fix generators? And then I was like, oh, that's the game. Fix generators and leave. Okay. And I was like, I get the pull behind it. But yeah, no, that wasn't what I was going for. When I first started streaming, I wanted to stream the games that I was watching reactions to from a guy that was posting jump scare compilations on YouTube. Goes by Sane TBD, SANE TBD. He doesn't do as many jump scare compilation videos nowadays. He does like a lot of like rage stuff and some other things. But that was actually the people that got noticed. That I noticed a lot on there were people like Breakfast at Noon, Cartoon Head George, Codename Power, all the people that would eventually get friendly and make Channel 13 horror. But like all the games that all, and like he'd always use like the bigger streamers like your was it 8-Bit Aaron, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, like those guys. So I was seeing stuff like Scrutinized, a game from Reflex Studios. It's the guy who did like Welcome to the Game and Death Signal. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, like I should try this game out. It looks terrifying, and it was very terrifying. And then like I think I did like I tried to stick with indie games mostly. If I wasn't doing a multiplayer, if I was doing a multiplayer game, it was either Phasmophobia, and this was like it had just fucking launched, Phasmophobia, and so like the tutorial scared the fucking shit out of me. The first time the thing responded on the spirit box, I was like, I'm out, and then it breathed down my neck, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. And then the other game that I don't play as much as I did back then, but I think I have like 400 hours in it, was Deep Rock Galactic.
Which fucking love that game.
To me is a horror game because I'm terrified of spiders.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this isn't fun. I don't like this. And then of course now it's fun, and I'm just like, yeah, like there's so many memes at that game now with me and some people that play it still. We find like the big chunk of gold in the wall, and you pull it out, and if you take your laser pointer, you point at it, it just goes, "We're rich." And so we sit there and spam it for like 3 minutes as a horde's killing us.
That's awesome.
Playing chicken with the resupply drops. We all stay underneath it so we could back up at the same time. I lost a deep dive at we were resupplying to get on the dropship after the third stage of a deep dive and get out. And we all decided to play chicken, and we all lost. So we lost. So we fucked it. That clip exists somewhere, and it was all three of us were just crying, laughing. After every successful mission, a lot of people you spam the emote button, rock and stone. They hold up the pickaxe. We do that, but then we just stare at each other, and with the mouse, you just go, just a firm nod. Just, good job. Yeah. And then probably the top 3 biggest laughs I've ever let out on stream, which fortunately was before I turned the web camera on. I was like, I want to get 100 followers before I do that. And then it turned into 80 because reasons. Actually, no, it's because of a charity drive I did. But anyways, I was playing with Treebeard, who he was in chat a little while ago, bitching about Tool. Then let's see, Polish Hoax, who's one of my coworkers, and Dr. Islands, who used to be one of my coworkers. And we're just sitting there, we're just playing, blah, blah, blah. And Dr. Islands, he immediately got this Matrix core, and he loved this overdrive. He's like, I need this. And it's where the engineer can launch essentially a nuke. It's this massive radiated zone, and he fucking loves it. And he decided that he was going to launch one out, and it was just on the outskirts of where we were we have to be in an area to control an area. And he was like, oh, feels a little Chernobyl in here. And I was just like, I'm like, Jesus, dude. He's like, what? Was it even that bad? And I was like, no. I was like, but at least you're not making I don't know, Sandy Hook references. And then Polish Hoax, drop of a hat, goes, is that Captain Hook's sister? And I was absolutely sent to the fucking moon.
That's incredible. That is, oh my god, that's fucking so funny.
The only other times I've really laughed that hard is probably doing community streams with Among Us and Jackbox Party, which by the way, I have to do both of those. You're both invited, obviously.
Yes, please.
The first Jackbox Party community night that I did, I laughed so hard I couldn't do the breathing thing right, and it was just there's nothing coming out at a certain point.
I know that feeling way too well.
So we had this ongoing joke for whatever this. There was a joke of the night where everything the kill card was killing kids in a cancer hospital or something. Sorry, St. Jude, or a children's hospital in general, burning down, just fucking terrible. And
yeah, that's how I play too.
Yeah, so we were doing the game where you have the meme and you have to provide this captions. So you basically piece them together. And again, this is Fry, this is one of my mods. It was a campfire, and it said, getting some R&R after a long day at the children's hospital. And yeah, I immediately just keeled over.
I would have lost my shit. Honestly, playing those games, you realize who your true friends are, because if you don't laugh at that, you're not my friend. I recently played, and it was Dictionarium or something, one of those Jackbox games, and it said give us a new name for Lizzo, and somebody wrote Chunk Sparkle, and now. Now Lizzo is just Chunk Sparkle. She will never be anything else. Actually, I used to, when I first started to play games, my gamer tag was Beefsig, BEEFSIGH, and that also came from Jackbox. You had to make up a name and then a definition, and we made a beef sigh being a pussy fart. So I thought that was the funniest thing in the entire world. So beef sigh was my nickname for so long.
Jesus Christ.
That was so good. What So were you like a fan of Channel 13 horror before you joined? Because I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, or even if you remember, I think that's how I met a lot of you guys, because I was friends with Jam Gamer. Still I'm friends with Jam Gamer, and he was like, "Oh, you should submit clips here." And then it's like, "Oh, it's like a community of, people like spooky streamers, and it shows off like, jump scare clips." And I'm like, what is this? And I thought it was so cool. To this day, I still subscribe to their Patreon because I really like what they're doing. But I remember meeting a bunch of you guys, and I think I met you guys through Channel 13 Horror. You definitely Codename Power. I met Diana through there. So how did you become one of their featured streamers?
So it dates back to, like I was mentioning, the same TBD days. So we were all getting clips put in there, and like we found each other's streams. We'd be like, hey, they're like, oh shit, yo, I've seen your clips on the videos over on Sane. How's it going? And we all got really friendly. And then I remember Breakfast just sending out like a mass group chat and was like, I'm starting something on our own because Sane's going through a lot of personal stuff. He's taking some time off from YouTube videos, and he's like, I do a lot of video editing anyways. Like, I really enjoy it. So from now on, if you have a clip that you want in here, give it to me. And I was like, okay, like, whatever. So like we were effectively the founders or the OGs or whatever silly euphemism you want to use. So like I'm one of the originals there with all of them. Like most, like, and it's basically, I think it's most of the originals, at least not the Brits, not your not Breakfast, not Cartoon Head George, not Old Panda. Like all of those guys they just do their own thing. But like all the American side Channel 13 people, like all of them are in CEOs, like minus Jam. But like that's how I found you, because one episode they threw one of your clips in, and I was just like, oh, fresh meat.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know that he took a little bit of a break, I think, Breakfast. But he's coming back soon. But I thought that was so cool. Like, horror is really super niche on Twitch, and nobody else was doing that. Like, nobody else was taking the care to like show off and display like horror streamers and doing those jump scare compilations. I mean, it takes so much time to do that, and I thought that was really awesome. You mentioned CEOs, like all of us are almost on like almost your group of Channel 13 friends are almost all on CEOs. One of my most exciting moments was getting to review not yours but your rounds of applications. I'm a mod for CEO, so I go through all the, I take like 30 at a time, and I don't review anybody who I already know. And that, when you know that your friends are, applying and you can't review them, you're just like, who has him? Like, who, like, you're just like, what? So like, I remember that was the year that you and Korn applied, and Korn didn't even like at first want to. I remember he was like nervous about it. He's like, no, I'm just like, fucking do it. And like watching, like, all right, here's the top like 50. Now vote to your like top 10, and it was like you and Korn, just number 1, number 2. My heart filled with joy, and I'm just watching this every day. You guys stay in like 2 top like draft picks, and I'm like, my babies. Oh my god, it's like, it's such a joy. Like, and you're also in CEOs one of the most active members. I see you participate in the Discord a lot, and what you also do is you put out collabs, and like shout outs for collabs, like whoever wants to play this with me, I'm going to be playing this at this time. What are some of the recent games that you have the most fun collabing with? Because I've seen you play with like Ghoul Friends. I know that you have Choni Jabronis, which makes me laugh because that's so fucking bibbity bop. And every time you guys play, I'm like Choni Jabronis. I'm like, that is so cute. I have a crew too. We call it the Boob Crew. Just me and my girlfriends, and when we play Boobin.
Nice.
So what, like recently, what games do you like to play with other people?
I'm trying to, because I of late what I've been really doing is I just go into Keymailer and I'm like, how many keys can I try to get until I feel overwhelmed? And I got a lot of multiplayer ones, and I was like, you know what, this will work well for Jugtober, because it's going to be like, it'll get more people to like show up and be like, oh, okay, this person's playing with this random fat white guy from the East Coast that's raising money for a good reason. So I'll come check it out. But I would say, I mean, outside of the obvious, I really enjoy playing Clone Hero. So I always say I'm a 99% of the time horror streamer, 1% other random shit. Clone Hero is the PC version of Guitar Hero. And they allow you to so there's a huge community that makes custom charts that you can easily upload into the game and play them. And so like I got like Noxler started playing with me. He's like, I never played this when I was a kid. And I was like, because you're a fucking Zoomer, I get it. No, much love to Nox. But he started playing, and like I remember he didn't get the same treatment that like I had. Like I grew up playing medium, where you get just the 4 buttons, and I was like, cool, I don't have to move my hand. And then it turned into, oh, go to hard. I have to shift my hand an inch to hit another button. I don't know if I could do this. Yeah. And then it became expert. I just got better and better and better. He didn't have the option to start at easy or medium, because most songs that are made in this community, they just go right to expert. Some people will make it for all difficulties, but it's obviously a lot more work. But yes, he learned how to play effectively Guitar Hero on expert, and that's it. And wow. And he's pretty good. He's honest. He's really good at tapping, which I'm not good at. So if there's a really big tapping solo in a song, he always picks it, and he tries to see if he can get a better solo score than me. And he has a couple times, and he gets all excited. And I was like, yeah. And then there's another guy that plays with us, a really good friend of mine too, that I met through. So follow me on this. So Treebeard, who is one of my OG viewers, he was there on day one. He's one of my best friends here, and he lives in Mass. And he's one of the few people that like when I first saw like in real life, I was like, that guy would probably eat me, because the reason why they call him Treebeard is he has a beard and he's the size of a tree. He's 6'9". Oh. And the first time I saw him, I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, oh no.
And that must not happen for you often.
Yeah, and I was just like, I can't approach this person. Then one day he just added me on Facebook, because we're in at the time we're in a Facebook group called MA Metalheads, and we're just like, I'm like, all right, well, he sent me a friend request, he might be nice. And like now we've traveled to New York to see Dillinger Escape Plan twice. We've gone to Baltimore to go to MDF a few times. One time we almost died together in Baltimore, so that was fun.
I still need to go to Maryland Death Fest at some point.
It's worth going. It's worth going to once. I will just say, stay in the Inner Harbor area, and don't stop to listen to the Panhandle stories, because they will just sit there and talk your ear off about like, I need you to do this, blah blah. And you're like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really cool time in Baltimore, because of the fact that all the locals, because it's Memorial Day weekend, they go to like Ocean City. They're like, fuck you, like, we're leaving. And so it's just an entire area of Baltimore is just the workers that couldn't get the weekend off, homeless people, and then everybody else is just sea of black t-shirts.
Yeah.
And it's it's crazy. I've met people from all over the world that have come there. I've met people from different countries in Europe that are like, we prefer coming here for festivals than going to like Download or Vakken or anything like that, because like, there's too many fucking people. I don't like that. He's like, here there's 2 venues, sometimes there's a third one. And it's like, while there's a lot of people and it can get cramped and like reach its capacity, you're inside of a venue that's probably like 5, 6, 700 people tops, and then like another one I think maybe is 1,100. But that's a lot less than like 50,000 people, 100,000 people. Like
Yeah.
I can see the pros and cons of both. But if I don't see all you have, if what's familiar to you with these massive festivals, it must get very tiring. And you're like, I need to find something that is a bit like still exciting, but bring it the fuck down. But yeah, no, let me know if you ever think about going, because even though I've told myself I'm probably not going to go back, because the last 2 times I went, the shows went very well, but the second to last time I went, me, Tree, his partner, my friend Derek, and one of our old friends, James, we were leaving the pre-show at Auto Bar, which was north of Inner Harbor, which is not a great area to begin with. But we're like, we'll just Uber it. Like, I'm not going to drive my car up there. I just drove down from, Massachusetts. I've been driving for like 7 hours. I'm good. And, we watched Lord Gore play, and my buddy Derek had eaten one of Treebeard's sugar cookies. And they were supposed to be 40 milligrams, but we found out the math was wrong when he got home. It was closer to like 75, 80.
Nice.
Wow.
And he like passes out on me. I'm like, brother. He's like, huh, what the fuck just happened? I'm like, okay, we're good. Then Mortician played, and they were just disgusting, fucking brutal death metal and samples of horror movies before every song. Like their album, Hacked Up for Barbecue, is entirely about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Nice.
Just corny New York's brutal death. But so we get out of the show and like, let's get an Uber. And we go to get the Uber, and it's just like the wait times are horrendous because everyone at the show is trying to leave.
Mhm.
And so we get a free upgrade to an Uber XL. We're like, fuck yeah, we are. Let's go. So we hop into this giant Yukon XL shows up, and this tiny Indian man hops out, and he's all dressed up in this fucking nice 3-piece suit. And I was like,
Ooh.
fuck yeah, we got the
Let's
fancy
go.
one. And he's like opening the doors for us. He's like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. He's like shaking our hands, being super personable. And I was like, fuck yeah, this guy rules. And so we're driving. Basically, everything is like grid-like there. So we're going like across the main roads, going north-south. We're going west to east to get over to ours, then go down. And so every time there's a stop, look, go for a block, stop, look, go for a block, blah, 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 blah. And the whole time, I'm just making fun of the Imagine Dragons song that's on, because it's the thunder, feel the thunder, yeah. And I'm sitting behind the driver, and he's being good. He's not like a rolling stop guy. He's like, I'm gonna fully stop and look both ways,
Nice.
twice, and then goes.
Yeah, right.
And there was at one point, he did that again, started going forward. And then I felt like there was light on my right side. And as I'm turning and looking, I can feel him accelerating. And then I realize that car is moving a lot faster than and we just get fucking T-boned by a Prius. That this is a straightaway shot. He had to have been going at least 80, 90 miles an hour. The Yukon we were in, it got scooped, and we were like this. I could see the pavement through my window, and it was like slow motion, and then something, I don't know if the Yukon just got lucky with physics or if it has something involved with it. It like stopped on nothing and then went back. Like we came a couple degrees away from flipping it. And to say the least, we all got out of the car, and we're just sitting out there and just like in shell shock. And like 10 minutes go by or someone, and like the police are just showing up, and the guy who's driving the Prius comes over, absolutely reeks of alcohol, and then asks us for a cigarette. And I was like,
my God.
are you fucking serious right now?
Welcome
and
to
then,
Maryland.
Yeah, and Treebeard was like, dude, we're not about, even if we smoke cigarettes, we're not about to give you one. You just fucking creamed us in our Uber. And he was like, oh, you guys are in there? Like, yeah. And he's, oh, my bad.
He could have
Okay.
killed you.
I could have
Yeah.
killed him at that point, but I, but yeah, no, I ended up watching and there's somewhere at Baltimore PD has a recording of me pointing and screaming into their chest cameras, the body cameras.
This is the juggernaut. Listen up,
Bitch.
bitch. Yeah.
So I said, that guy reeks of alcohol. Why are you not performing field sobriety checks on him? And they're like, let us do our job. And I was like, well, you're doing a fucking shitty one because that guy almost fucking killed us, and now you're letting him leave with someone else. He's clearly intoxicated, and they were just like, we don't have any evidence of that. And I was like, go and sniff him. You just sat on a fucking ambulance with him. Sniff harder. Take some fucking antihistamine so you can use your nose.
Yeah.
Fuck's sakes. Anyways, yeah, I was a little mean to those police officers.
As you should be.
But,
Maryland police are
Yeah.
not my favorite either, so.
No. So the guy that was driving us, he called his friend who also does Uber driving, and he's like, I'm shutting the app off. I'm gonna give them a lift home. And I was like, wow, like, that's really nice. He dropped us off. He's like, I hope you guys are okay. Like, he's like, did you all get to talk to the paramedics? We're like, oh yeah, like we're all good. The only injury, Tree had he had a gash on his arm from the window breaking, but otherwise, like, even my friend Derek, who was on the door that got hit, he was completely fine. Like,
Oh, thank goodness.
yeah, it's more like mental and emotional, kind of defeated at that point.
Of course.
But the rest of the weekend was good. And then, of course, like the last day, there was torrential downpour where like half of Baltimore fucking flooded and we had no idea. So our phones were blowing up. We're like, you guys good? We're like, the accident was 3 days ago. We're fine. Like, no, the flooding. We're flooding? Like, we know it's raining, but what the fuck? Yeah, it wasn't anywhere near us, but we were fine. And then the last one, the most recent time I went, again, ended up being a really good time, but there was an awful tragedy where a concert goer unfortunately took their own life. So above one of the obviously content warning. The person was having a lot of issues, and they had posted something on their Facebook, and then decided while they're up on the top of the parking garage above the venue, jump. I was just going into the venue. I think it was No Mas was playing. I think so. Not that matters, but Treebeard he goes, I forgot my fucking ID. Like, they ID you at the door, obviously. Mm-hmm. He's not a drinker, so it doesn't really matter, but they still will ID you at the door to make sure you can get in first time for the day, get your wristband. And he's like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna meet my partner halfway, and she's gonna have the ID. And I was like, okay. I was like, I can come with you. And he was like, no. Like, we're just yelling back and forth at each other. And that enough delay made it so when he rounded the corner, the person fell like 10 feet in front of him versus on him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
My God.
It's still not good. It's not a happy memory that either of us have. Because the worst thing was, he was there, he saw everything. He immediately calls his partner, who's like, go around on the harbor side, don't come down this street. I'll explain later. And she's, okay. My friend Zach and his girlfriend Liz are crossing the street because they just had brunch and they see the aftermath. And I'm inside rocking out, having a grand old fucking time because I have no idea what's going on. And after the band ends, I pull my phone to see where everybody is, and I have missed phone calls, voicemails, text messages. I'm like, what the fuck? Where are you? I'm like, I'm inside soundstage. What's going on? They're like, someone jumped off the parking garage. When you come out, don't take a left. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, I don't want to know. And like, we just went back to our like hotel rooms and like napped for like 2 to 3 hours because it was just so jarring.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was like, it gets to a point where like, I've now had 2 like really terrible things happen there. Nothing to do with the festival itself. Nothing to do with that. I mean, I will say another thing that police did that was really fucked up. That the last year, I think it was the second to last night, kid, a couple blocks away, got shot and killed, drive-by. And all of a sudden, there's all the SWAT team is around the power plant live area, which is where there's like an outdoor venue, and it's like right next to one of the venues and across the street from the other one. So it's this whole area. We're all there, and like one of my friends approached, is like, "Yo, what's going on?" They're like, "Oh, well, I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a kid earlier today who got shot and killed a couple blocks over. So we're just keeping an eye out." Like, why are you looking here? If it was the blocks of the way? They're like, "Oh, we figure it's an out of towner. It's probably one of you guys." Huh?
Wow.
They act like
Yeah,
there isn't like 5 drive-bys in that city at least twice a week. Like,
Right.
that city
But
is
this
just
particular one.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's super shitty. So I don't feel like I'm not a spiritual person. I don't believe in coincidences or anything like that. But like, there's certainly signs, and I'm like, they told me the first time with the car accident. They told me the second time with this other person, and I'm like, I don't know if I should go again. And then I would look into like going to Psycho Las Vegas. That is gone, which sucks. And then I've wanted to go to This Is Hardcore in Philly, but at the time, no, none of my friends could go. They just couldn't afford it at the time. And I was like, well, I'm not about to go to Philly by my fucking self, so that's not going to happen. And then I forgot about Sound and Fury this past summer because the summer was happening, and I was like, when's Sound and Fury? Last weekend. Sick. But I am excited. I'm going to FYA Fest in Orlando first weekend of January with the person I haven't mentioned yet, and that's Heavy Hand Swings, who I met. So Treebeard, I'm going back tangent, sorry. So Treebeard introduces me to Wheeler Dealer, who has been streaming longer than I have. I don't know how long he's been streaming for, but he has, ever since he hit affiliate, he was like, well, he used to work for Sega. His name is in the credits under the sales team for Alien Isolation. And then
Nice.
which is super cool. I was like, where is he? Where is he? And I was like, there he is. Then he went and started working for I don't remember. It's an anime company that Crunchyroll ended up buying. But he's like a sales guy through there. So he pitches like anime sales to like Amazon and stuff like that. So he does well for himself. And he's like, I don't really need to make money from Twitch. So he was like, I'm just going to do, everything's going to be for charity. So for the first year, I can't remember what he did for charity, but every stream since that first year, he's moved to Canines for Companions, which is a group that will essentially use these funds to train dogs to be service animals to get them to people free of charge that need them. And he's raised, I think he broke 60,000 total, like raised for them earlier this year, which is incredible. Maybe it was 100,000.
Well, you do charity every year too. You do Jugtober every October.
Mm-hmm.
And what charity do you raise money for Jugtober?
So that one again was Treebeard's idea, because I was like,
Treebeard sounds like an A+ person.
He is. He's a really good dude. So I ended up coming around, and around the first year, and I was like, Streamiversary's coming up. At the time, even then, like, I've only done one. I was like, I don't really want to do a subathon, because like, and nothing against anyone that does them at all. Like, go for it. It's your stream. Do what you want. But like, me internally was like, I don't want to ask people for for money like that. Like, if I'm asking for money, it would be for charity. And I was like, that's actually not a bad idea. And then Treebeard recommended Hope for the Day. Hope for the Day raises money for suicide awareness and prevention, and they're fantastic. We've had 4 Jugtobers, and we have raised over $6,500 in total, which has been amazing. I think what did we do this year? We did 1,500 on the nose this year, and then the most was, I'll always remember it, was in the year 2022. We raised $2,022. I think someone did that on purpose, but I'm fine with it.
Fate's been working.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
And then the first month I hit affiliate. So I started October 2020, like October 30th, and I hit affiliate in early December. of that year, and then I follow a lot of like Jacksepticeye. I don't necessarily watch his streams or anything. Like he doesn't stream, but like I like when I started playing Subnautica for the first time before I was streaming, I found him in Markiplier, and I was like, oh, I'm like, these guys are funny. But yeah, so I was Jacksepticeye was doing it was the like Red Nose Day, and it was supposed to raise money for families that aren't well off for like the holiday season and everything. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Like, I'll do that for like a week. You know, I don't want to stress anybody out because it is the holiday time and everything. But yeah, they people showed up. I ended up raising like I think it was exactly $1,000, and it was like holy shit. And like that kind of like it like gave me the I should do this for for Jugtober because it takes the spotlight off of me. Because, like, I don't want to make, it's all about me because I've been playing video games online for a year. Like, and I wanted to make it more than that. And doing Jugtober and having, like, these milestones and incentives and promising I'm going to do things that are going to be terrible for my GI tract. And it's just like, it's all worth it. And actually, so, and then obviously St. Jude's too, this past, I think I did it in May, but it was April and May. I did a 1 day. I was like, let's do a 1 day. I don't want to stress people out with Jugtober around the corner. Let's do a 1 day. And I decided that I was going to do the big individual incentive for one person. If one person donated $500, they'd be able to work with me to design and place my first tattoo. And it took 20 minutes and someone did it. And I was like, fuck.
Did you know the person?
Yeah, I know them personally. They're trying to draw something up for me, but they want to make it stream oriented. I'm like, thank God, because I had people that like old coworkers that are in there, and they're like, so you're gonna get a mirror tattoo, right? I was like, you can go fuck yourself. I'm not putting Frankie Palmieri on my body. How dare you? So ultimately, except for I think the first Jugtober, I didn't use Tiltify. I think I just was like, just give them my PayPal. Nightmare. Taxes did not like me for that. Don't do that. Use Tiltify. However, Tiltify hit me up and they sent me this. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I realized there was a pin and I could put a pin on this. So I don't know how much you guys have used Tiltify. They have achievements for different numbers of raise. So they sent me this banner. And you see the pin in the middle, $7,500 raised in total for Tiltify.
Wow!
And I was like, "That's so fucking cool." So
that's so nice.
Yeah, between I got this probably like 1 or 2 weeks after I got this hoodie, and that fucking sent me after because St. Jude sent me all of that other stuff. That's all the artwork is made by like their patients, the children at the hospital, and I was like, wow, can we stop cutting onions in my house, please? Like, Jesus
I know.
Christ.
I did a St. Jude's. I raised money from the last year, and they send so much stuff. It's so sweet, and like it was so nice. One of the things they sent, and it was maybe everybody got this, but it was just a piece of paper, and on the piece of paper said like St. Jude's Hospital, and then in like lighter font was all of the gamer tags of everyone who donated. And I was like, that's really great. I'm like, I love when people use their platforms for this rather than, I'm not saying it's anything else, but like, instead of like painting our titties flowers, we can be raising money for charity. I'm just saying, like, maybe I'm salty and jealous. Like, maybe that's what it is, but like...
That's not where I thought you were going to take it. That is fantastic. I'm sitting here like, name drop Nick Merckx, please.
I'm not sure who that is.
He's a fucking caveman. He sits there and he defended Dr. Disrespect for a hot minute and then decided like, this isn't good. We need to, because he kept saying protect our children from like the trans people. And I'm like, protect your children from your friend that wears a wig, asshole.
Yeah.
He's anti-vaxxer. He's an opinionated dog shit human being. And he sucks at Call of Duty like most people do. So he's on him. He's not.
Fuck you,
about,
Ned, or whatever your name is.
Ned.
Yeah, fuck you, Ned.
Yeah, no, I don't deal with those. Like, I never got into like I do watch some partners. Like I outside of streaming, even though I have done on stream a couple times, I'll play Escape from Tarkov. It's just a looter shooter, and I absolutely fucking love watching Stank Rat. His streams, his YouTube highlights. He's just this kid in California. I say kid lightly. I guess he was like a biochemist previous to COVID. When COVID hit, like the labs all shut down, and he was like, "I'm unemployed. I'm fucked." And he was like, "Well, he's like, I've been playing Tarkov and I really like it. I guess I'll stream it." And he is 100% a rat, hence Stank Rat. And he'll sit in extracts. He'll wait for someone to show up with all the good loot, having wiped the lobby, and then he shoots their ankles out, steals their shit, and leaves. And it is so fucking funny. There's just something about him that works. And like he blew up overnight on TikTok one day, and like it just was in everyone's algorithm. So he's a big streamer. He's a partner and everything. And like I'll go in there and watch it. It's just chaos. But like all the other ones, like I don't feel like watching people play Call of Duty. I did that throughout my entire like high school and college years. Like I'm good. Yeah.
Is your goal on Twitch ultimately to get partner? Or is that something that, how do I word this? When I first started on Twitch, I thought that was like the coolest thing. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to be a partner. And like, yeah, maybe like that's cool. But now after being on Twitch for like a few years, my care of like if I become partner one day has lessened, mostly due to like every year it's different, right? Number of viewers are different. The game you're playing, matters. Raids matter to your numbers, like with smaller streamers like us. And if I concentrate on like, okay, to be a partner, I need to have X amount of viewers at all time. Why aren't people coming to my channel? Or if I focus on that, all of my happiness and joy is going to be taken away. So I feel like in the last, especially like this last year, I have felt like my want and desire to become partner has definitely lessened with me trying to avoid burnout so much, because being a Twitch streamer, if you're not a Twitch streamer, anyone who's watching or listening, is really hard mentally. It's we all have jobs that we do outside of here, and we have lives, and then here's more airtime. Here we have to be ourselves just a tiny bit ramped up. We have to be a little bit entertaining. We have to play games that we like, but also think about ones that other people are gonna want us to enjoy. So in the long run, like what is your main focus on Twitch, and if is that a goal for you?
I think I'm more like you. Like at first it's kind of like, oh, like I could probably get there in time. Like I got affiliates so fast, like and I'm like, because I watched my numbers like early on, like it's still insane to me where I just every couple of streams someone new comes in and they're talkative in chat and stuff, and I'm just like, wow, like that's cool, like thanks for coming by. And I never think like they'll be back. I'm just kind of like, all right, cool, they were being nice. And then some of those people show up every stream, and it's just like, so that in and of itself is like a huge win for me. But I think in terms of like my Twitch stream, it's like I don't really have any true goals. Like I took a week off after Jugtober to think about them, and it was more so just like the goals I could think about were how to make my stream better, not necessarily for getting higher viewership or anything, but like I was making changes to things, added new channel point redemptions, got rid of some old ones, and then I'm like, oh, like I'm still on the fence of how do I multi-stream? Like how do I do this without turning my PC into a fire pit? So because like I've thought about like doing the multi-stream out to TikTok, maybe to YouTube, not at the same time, but like one or the other. And then of course with what's it called? With Soup coming out, SOOP out in Korea. Yeah, because how do you pronounce it? Is it Asma or Isma?
Isn't it asthma?
Is it asthma? I fucked it up this whole time. So
I don't know.
She's moving back to Korea, and Twitch isn't supported there. There is no Twitch footprint at all. So she basically has to leave Twitch behind, and so she's been streaming now. Well, she's not. I don't think she's moved yet, but she's been streaming a lot more on Soup, and she's been trying. She's letting the CEOs know about it and stuff. So I had made my account over there, and like one of these days, I wanted to during like the holiday season because they had a couple like play this game, like play like I think it was like Resident Evil 4 remaster, and like play it for like 3 hours and you'll get raffle tickets, and every extra hour after that is another raffle ticket, and you'll win like there's like a cash prize for like 3 raffle pulls. So it's like that's pretty cool. And then of course I think we have until January to get affiliated before they up the ante. But right now until like I think it's mid-January, if you stream on Soup for an hour, you're affiliate.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're just trying to get people in. Lucky Soup.
Lucky Soup.
Lucky
yeah,
Soup.
I was just.
Good
I
soup.
love that's Lucky Soup.
I only look in chat.
How did you? Lucky. I was thinking Lucky Soup. I was thinking Lucky Soup the whole time. I was like, Lucky Soup. So how did you feel like you looked into Soup and you were like, oh, this is so funny to me.
Hello, Minestrone. How are you doing?
He just has like a bowl of alphabet soup and it just tells him his fortune.
hey, Lois, my cereal is a ghost. It goes, ooh. Peter, those are Cheerios.
Yes, Cheerios
Lois,
is my
this is not my
favorite
Batman
alphabet
class.
soup.
Yeah. Whoa. Lois, this is not my Batman class. Best Family Guy moment ever to this day.
Yes.
It kills me. So it's I think it's the episode when Peter thinks that Chris has a bigger penis than he does, and he's worried about it. And there's one of these random, like the flashback moments or like the little segue thing, and it's like, oh, how about that time when Peter tried to say that he was still at work, and it was like Lois is sitting on the couch, the phone rings, hello, hey Lois, I'm just gonna let you know I'm stuck at the office late tonight, so I'm not gonna be able to take the trash out. Peter, the caller ID says you're calling from the kitchen. In fact, I can see you. And the camera pans over, and he's in the fridge with a turkey leg in his mouth. He takes like 4 steps backwards away from the door. He goes, "Can you see me now, Lois?"
Yeah.
No, that's because I'm at the office. It's so good.
My favorite Family Guy moment is when they did one of those like montages. And he was just like, Peter the strawberry. and then the fucking worm comes like, oh, how you doing, Mr. Worm? And like goes up his fucking strawberry butt. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, he was my neighbor and he violated me. Now I'll never be baked into a fancy pie. I fucking lost my shit. My favorite fucking thing in the entire world. I also, Jugs, there's been something on my mind that I have to tell you. It is non-related to what we're saying now, but it was related to when you were saying that I shouldn't go to that death fest anymore because of the 2 incidents that happened. I also have a calling from the beyond. And my call, yes. So my calling from is that I'm not allowed, this world will not allow me to see Marilyn Manson.
Yes, I wanted to
Let
talk
me
about
tell
this
you.
earlier.
Yes.
I wanted to bring up
Yes.
this story when he said the weather thing.
Yes, I was like, I gotta tell you.
Oh my god.
So listen, I can separate, he's been accused of stuff, right? But just I don't want like anyone to think I'm a scumbag, like who's listening to this. Marilyn Manson has been my favorite musical artist since I was a kid. Like I loved his music. And I got to see him one time in concert, the whole concert, when I was probably about 19. That was great. After that, Marilyn Manson Jesus says, no more for you, Allison, no matter how hard you try. So the second time that I went to go see Marilyn Manson was the time where, and you might remember this, Jugs, writing, about live shows. If you wrote about this live show, I would have loved to read about it. something was going on with Brian Warner that night. I don't know what he had taken or what was going on, but he had a prop in the middle of his, it was the Two Guns logo.
Yeah.
And he had a prop and he was doing his thing. He was like, ba ba da ba da. He has his hand on the prop. He's like, ba ba da ba da. And then he goes, ba ba da ba, and he grabs the prop. He falls, and the prop, the big giant thing, falls on top of him in the middle of the show, breaks his leg.
Oh,
now we're
God.
about 5 songs in. Okay, we're about 5 songs in.
Awesome. Oh, God.
The best was the band kept playing for a good 25 seconds as he's like Peter Griffining on the floor.
Well, that's way more exciting than the time I saw Marilyn Manson.
Oh, it gets better with the next one. The next time I tried to see him live, because after the big prop fell on him, they said, Marilyn Manson can no longer perform. So I'm like, okay. So I guess have a great night. I'm like, fuck. So then it was what was it? Jones Beach Theater. It was Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, and I'm just like, let's fucking go.
Was that a Rockstar Mayhem Fest?
No, it wasn't. It was just that.
They didn't play that. I'm thinking of Rob Zombie and Korn. Sorry, excuse me.
No, you're good. So I get there, and we're walking, me and my group of friends, already parked. We have no car. This is important to the story. We're parked, walking to where we got to get in to the line, and then all of a sudden, Satan himself rose from the ground and went up to the sky. Made his black cloud specifically on top of Jones Beach Theater.
Oh no.
What happened was Jugs was so movie that it almost sounds fake. Okay? It starts to downpour. Now, downpour, monsoon. The flooding starts. The water starts to rise inches within minutes. I kid you not. Then the fucking lightning from hell just starts boom, boom, coming down on the parking lot. War of the Worlds on the fucking Jones Beach Theater, just fucking thunder and lightning.
Oh God.
I can't see anything, Jugs. I'm not with my friends. We can't see anything. We're trying. I have glasses. Like, they're fogged. You can't see an inch in front of your face, and the water is up to my knees. Wow. I'm in the parking lot, and I'm like, Denise! I'm like calling my friends. And they call me Stormy because we all played roller derby together. So I hear Storm.
That's right. I forgot you were roller derby. That's so
cool. So they ended up being like, the show's canceled. Like, they ended up canceling the fucking show because there was there was a fucking monsoon, a thunderstorm monsoon that was like, you're not going to see Manson today either. Yeah. So now I have given up. Someone out there does not want me to see him. I played roller derby for 10 years. That's on awesome. Long Island and on I've been up to like Massachusetts. I played the oh my God, I want to call them the mass holes, and that's not what they're called. I've been like all over New England. It starts with an N.
Needham?
I can't fucking remember. No, I can't fucking remember. New Hampshire.
Oh,
we played New Hampshire.
I'm thinking towns.
Yeah, I'd say like New Hampshire a bunch of times. Yeah, but we used to play around. So the first 4 years of me playing was on like a regular non like competing team, and then after that I transferred when I moved out to Yankees. I transferred to with Eddie Kingston. Their team was Division II, so then I played on their team until COVID took that away. So yeah, it sucked. Then I started boxing, and boxing's fun.
Nice.
It doesn't feel the same as getting to hit broads, into each other. Oh my God, can I tell you? I've hit so many broads in my day. One time, Jugga, now listen to my story. One time I had the shingles. But I had a game and I wanted to play so bad. So you know what I did? I said, here, you get a shingle and you get a shingle, and I played. And that team probably all got shingles from me. Real life story. How you doing?
Oh my God. Shingles. The thing that nobody wants. Leave them on the roof.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was like, how did I get shingles? I was like 24 at the time. I'm like, how the
wow.
fuck? It was weird because it wasn't like it was a patch. It came from like here to like my back.
Oh,
but
wow.
The doctor was like, yeah, it's like, you got shingles. And I'm like, cool. That's exactly where I hit bitches.
Oh, no.
Right here. I'm like, that's the spot. So they all got shingles. I don't know if they did, but I'm an asshole.
So, you talked about Maryland Death Fest. I never went to Maryland Death Fest, but there was a tour going on. Do you know the band Hypocrisy?
Oh yeah.
They were playing Maryland Death Fest, but their supporting bands were doing a show like at a different venue in Maryland, and it was like their last day of the tour. So
okay.
So I went to see the two bands. I went to see Karak Angren and The Agonist.
Is this just for timing's sakes? Is this with Alyssa or did she go to Arch Enemy?
This was after she left. This
okay,
was
okay.
she had been an Arch Enemy for like 2 years at this point, I think.
Got it. Okay.
So this show was great. It was like one of the best shows I ever been to. I was right up front. The Agonist was actually streaming their set, and you can. I don't know if they had. I don't know if they still have the VOD up, but if you look where the chat bar is, you can see me directly behind it. That's how close to the stage I was.
That rules.
And it's funny, the singer for The Agonist, she voices Ada in Dead by Daylight, and this is their last album, and I got her to sign it. They are unfortunately not a band anymore.
Yeah.
And the best part of that night is, so the concert ends, I get the CD signed, I walk out, and it's Maryland. Everyone is smoking pot outside. And so like everyone down here is like smoking pot, and I'm up here and the wind is blowing towards me. And I text my mom. I'm like, hey, so I didn't have any weed tonight, but if I smell like it, it's not my fault, I promise. And my mom just laughed so hard at me. Cause like,
I didn't have any weed.
Yeah.
And like my mom got there and she saw the group of people, like she saw the like weed waft go all the way over to me.
The Colombian sauna.
Yeah, and my mom was just like, God, you would smell horribly, but I don't I don't blame you, because I was just covered in sweat, like, because it was a good show.
Nice.
Unfortunately,
go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, Croc Anger didn't play any of my favorite songs, because they were touring for their last 2 albums. They didn't play anything from This Is No Fairy Tale, unfortunately. Such a good album.
I've seen them 3 times now, because they just, anytime there's like some remotely black metal tour or something, like I remember they toured with Flesh God Apocalypse once, and I was like, huh? And I'm like, oh, symphonic stuff, okay, fine, I'm in. But every time I'm just like, man, I love that they're so like 100% this is what we're doing, this is our brand.
Yeah,
because it's so cheesy.
Yeah,
and I love it. And the last time I saw them, they were touring with Guerilla. It's a black metal band from Portugal. Fucking awesome. Their last 3 albums, they dropped an album a month ago or so. Fantastic. 2 years ago, another one. Fantastic. Like, get on them. But I'm trying to think who else was on that tour with them, like who the headliner was. I think Chrisian was on it too, and then I don't remember who the fucking headliner was. Anyways, Karak Angren's playing, And so we're at the downstairs Middle East. So this is in the heart of Cambridge. The Middle East is a legendary venue in the Northeast in general. It's been around for such a long time. Like there are bands that have started their careers there and ended their careers there, both metal and hardcore. And they'll have like rap acts there. Like R.A. the Rugged Man plays there at least once a year. So I got to hear the most Bostonian thing ever during Karak Angren's set downstairs at the Middle East. It was like in between songs, and they were just taking a second to like tune instruments. The vocalist is grabbing a quick thing of water. The keyboardist is just standing there looking like Predator. And you just hear some fucking drunk asshole on the way in the back just go, "You guys are fucking corny as shit." And the whole venue fucking lost. Like, dude, what? Or like every time I ever see Devin Townsend, there's always something hilarious that happens. I think one of the first times I absolutely like was like, oh, these are the people that Devin Townsend caters to in his music, because for whatever reason, for a while he was doing Ziltoid radio while they would set up. And it was just Ziltoid being like, we're going to listen to this next song, and it's one of the most brutal songs in all the galaxy. And it was like Aqua's Barbie Girl. And it's like, fuck yeah, okay. And they had one tour he went to, because I've seen Devin, between Devin and Strapping and Lad probably like 12 times. He ended up, one tour they did Ziltoid TV. So it was almost like watching MTV and Ziltoid's on the green screen the whole time, like the puppet. And he's like, and here's one of my favorite videos from the human internet. And it was the fucking badger video. The badger, mushroom. When it got to the snake, snake part, the entire place, ooh, it's a snake. Like, oh yeah, we're here.
I love it.
And then the other time, it wasn't Devin, this other one I thought of. It was actually Arch Enemy and Creator. Creator was in between songs, and you just like a song ends, you get the roars and the clapping, and then it dies down, and for a split second you just hear little, and it was so slow. And my friend in front of me pulled one of these on the second ladle. He just goes like straight up Adam Cole-faced me. I was like, holy shit.
That is so fucking. Any SpongeBob reference will make me fucking lose my shit.
Oh yeah, once a day keeps the doctor away.
1000%. Just like your Family Guy references you were making before.
Yeah.
That's Family Guy and SpongeBob is just the most quotable things ever. Like at least like once a week I'll be like, boarding school? I thought this was Spanish class. It's just like stupid as fucking shit. There's one thing that I noticed. Oh, did you want to say something?
No, I just want to say something real quickly. One of my favorite things that I've ever experienced is I went to see. It was Unleash the Archers opening for Powerwolf, and one of the songs that was playing. Powerwolf, yeah.
Oh.
And one of the
Powerwool. It's a powerful wool from the sheep.
I heard wool. I had to make sure because in my head now I have to think about two different things. Powerwool is hilarious. I love that.
So in between, one of my favorite things is just it was just a group full of metalheads. It was a room full of metalheads, and all that happened was I forget the song. It's Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla starts playing, and we all just start pitting to it. Like the entire room pits, like walls of death, start. It was awesome.
That's fucking sick. Yeah, that I could see people pitting to Godzilla. It's a heavy song.
Yeah. It was just really funny.
That riff's immediately in my head.
Because as the chorus starts, that's when everyone started running at each other. It's great. Jesus. Anyway, you can go.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I've been in some pits for probably bands that shouldn't have pits. Like the most hardcore one I've ever been in. It was Remember the band Aiden?
Oh yeah.
that had William Control, rip.
Jesus.
That one was that had a death wall. Aiden had a death
nice.
wall, and then Atreyu, but like,
Oh my god.
old Atreyu, like Suicide Notes, Butterfly Kisses Atreyu.
Yeah.
Like old
X's and O's.
Yeah, like oh my god, he did. That was a great show though. Holy shit, Atreyu was amazing live. There was some questions that I asked Van on our last podcast that I wanted to ask you too because I'm super curious. Whenever on Steam I'm playing a horror game or when I go check out a horror game, 9 out of 10 times I see that you already have made a review on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You are the only person, I swear, that reviews games, and I absolutely love it. I wanted to ask you, have you ever left like a poor review, or do you only review games that you really thought were great?
So that's a mixed bag. Sometimes there's been an occasion or two where I would get a key for a game and it was just really poorly made, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't even say this is good, but I have to say something. But there's also been times where I've got a game through like Keymailer and it's fine, but I'm like, I'm not gonna play it again, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna vote on this one. I'm just gonna leave it alone, which probably isn't the best choice, but I'm just like, me coming up with a review, I'm like, how do I make this not be wordy? Because some people use like the templates with the check marks and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care. Like, just give me what you liked, what you didn't like, and we'll move on. So yeah, I try to be good with it because especially where I play a lot of like indie horror games, I want those developers to, to have something to show for, because at the end of the day, no one's looking up, oh, how are the sales of this game and should I buy it? They're looking at the Steam positive reviews.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And to segue from that into you and I and Max, I'm pretty sure Max, yeah, we're all fans of Emika games.
Oh yeah.
And I really like those games for a couple of reasons. I think they're very pretty, and I'm a sucker for pretty. I like the fact that they are short-ish. They can range, right? The longest one was probably like 3 hours of gameplay. I'm a girl who likes completion, giggity. So like I like a game that I can finish quickly.
Oh my word.
You can't say that. Sumi and Crims are in this chat.
I didn't plan any of that. Any of that dialogue.
It's gonna turn into a Chatterbait stream really quick.
Chatterbait, right? I even won an award. I know what you're talking about. I've been on. The thing that annoys me, and I'm just gonna say I am not super against this. I'm not a fan. I hate it when people buy a game, like we'll buy an Emika game, and then play it, love it, think it's cool, but it was 45 minutes and $8, cost September 7th, cough, right? And they'll return it right away. Yep. They enjoyed it, but because it was so little gameplay and $8, which is, for 45 minutes that's steep, they'll return it. And I would never do that personally. Return a game that I really liked, that I thought was good, just because it was short. Have you ever done that? Or what do you think about that? Because I know that a lot of people did that with Summer of 58, and we didn't get that second Summer of 58 game, I feel like, because of it, even though at the end of the game it kind of hinted to another one. I think that really shattered their souls, having so many people return it.
Yeah. Yeah, because he had this whole thing, it's a whole universe where it's all interconnected, and he's kind of just moved away from it because of how I think it was September 7th, the one that's supposed to be the prequel to what's the one that starts off in the subway and you go to the payphone?
Find Yourself.
Find Yourself, and then Father's Day is the prequel.
Father's
Find
Day,
Yourself.
thank you. Father's Day, he had so many people return the game on him because it was like, it was like an hour long, if that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that's so shitty. So when I play games that are short like that, I usually put a little disclaimer at the end that just lets people know that, hey, if you're going to beat this in under 2 hours and you refund it, you're a giant piece of shit.
I love...
Like, it's you, like, why sit there and buy the game and get these people's artwork, essentially, all this hard work, time, effort, money into this project, and you want to support them by playing it and then immediately going, no, go fuck yourself, like, I want my money back? That's crazy. But in terms of me refunding games, it's, I can count on one hand how many times I've done it. The first time, and this was, I got fucking tilted. So I used to play back on Xbox Payday 2 quite a bit, and I really enjoyed it. Kind of stopped playing it, played other things, got to PC World, blah, 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 blah. So one of my buddies, Dr. Islands, he was just like, hey, do you want to play Payday 2 with me and some people? I was like, I haven't played that game in years. I'm like, it's still big? He goes, oh yeah, they've put a ton of work into it. Like, the game is a lot different than it used to be when it first came out. I was like, oh, cool, like, I'll play. And he goes, awesome. Do you already own it? And I said, no, I'll just buy it. And he was like, oh, perfect timing. It's on sale for $1.
Nice.
And I got so fucking tilted with how different and terrible that game got from compared to when I remembered it. I got so mad. I'm like, I don't want to fucking play this game anymore. And I Alt F4'd, uninstalled it, and immediately put in for a refund for $1. And like, when they put the reasoning, I just took a shit on these developers, and I hit send, and I'm like, I'm such an asshole. But I'm like, it's the fucking principle of the matter. You fucked it. I don't even want the dollar. Keep the dollar. Just know that you fucked this game up. And then of course they put out 3, and I don't know how it went, but yeah, there was that one. I refunded one game recently. I can't remember the fucking name of it, but it's from that studio that was like super sketchy with indigenous folk. Like they had like the original logo was like an arrow going through like a woman's head, and she was obviously an indigenous person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it was real fucked up. There's one content creator. She made a video on YouTube, and she's indigenous person, and she's like, this is fucked up. Like, it's only fucked up that they did it, but then when it came around to like them like having to deal with it, they were super standoffish, and then they actually went and changed the logo, and it's still like dude, you come on, like you're gonna be like that after you like doubled down and went, oh okay, no, we got the logo now, come play our game. And people are like, no, just go fuck yourself. So I had actually bought it, and then I think it was Gothy shared it in the CEO's Discord, and I watched it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna fucking play this game. And I refunded it, and I said some real choice words to these people in that refund. Yeah, I think I definitely said some unalives in there. Definitely said some other really probably promising things, we'll say. But yeah, no, I don't like shitty people that do shit like that. So I wasn't gonna support them. And then the only other time I refunded a game, and this is probably the one that's most embarrassing. This VOD does not exist. I was day drinking heavily, and I knew I had stream, and I was like, I'll be fine. I have streamed a couple of times being drunk, and it's usually been pretty silly. I was like falling asleep in the middle of the stream trying to play Indica. And that's like the game, it's like the Russian game where you're like part of like the Russian monastery and you're like a nun. And my drunken brain was like, I can't stay awake. I keep like coming back to of me walking into a wall like an idiot. So I'm like embarrassed and I'm angry because all I'm doing for an hour and a half is bringing water back and forth through a maze of hallways. And I'm like, I thought this was a horror game. What the fuck is going on?
Water the game.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, this is so dumb. And yeah, I got super mad. I smacked my microphone. I think I flipped my keyboard or something because it's been broken ever since. So like, can I show you? Or is it stuck? I can kind of show you. So this little leg that sticks out of the corner is gone. Mm-hmm. It fell out. I have no idea where it went. I was an asshole. I hate rated myself out. and was just so fucking pissed off. And then Treebeard the whole time was like, dude, just stop, just stop, just stop. And I'm just being an absolute asshole. And I refunded it on stream and was like super shitty in my like thing. Like I didn't review the game, but like in the return thing. Oh, I think I ended up hitting cancel on it though. I don't remember. But anyways, I felt awful about it. And within minutes, I had Treebeard hit me up, Shut Up Meg hit me up, Heavy Hamstrings hit me up. They're like, "Are you okay?" And immediately went to beer tears and just started bawling my eyes out to my friends. I'm like, "I'm such a fucking asshole. I fucking ruined everything. Everyone's gonna say fuck this guy. Let's cancel him." All because I couldn't go. I couldn't go with just maybe don't day drink today of all days because you're streaming. Not that I even like. I get drunk maybe once or twice a year. My wife is she's a bit more of a lightweight than me. I'm not calling her a lightweight. She can handle herself, but like she also drinks wine a lot more when she's out. Wine just hits a lot harder.
Same.
So I'm normally the one that I'm like, all right, I'll make sure we can drive home. So I'll have a drink or two and be okay. And like because I know myself well enough. When I was younger, I was not good to myself, and I figured out what my limits were, and usually the hard way. So, yeah, it's wine hits hard. Same. But yeah, that was an embarrassing moment for me. I immediately unpublished and deleted that VOD because I always upload every VOD to YouTube, and I was like, yeah, I'm not putting that one up. That one didn't happen. But yeah, refunding of games is not something I typically do. Like I've like those are the only 3 times I can recall doing it. Because if I'm gonna throw money at a developer, it's because I want to support them. And even if the game turns out shitty, like I'll give constructive feedback on it. Now, if people are gonna sit there and asset swap on a game, I'm gonna fucking shit on their life because it's so stupid. Or like, what's that fucking asshole was doing? It was big last year. He's now rebranded himself a few times with different names for his studio. And he's been working really hard on this game, and it's like the same game rehashed over and over again. And the latest one, at the end of the game, it's a legitimate 911 call of an SA victim. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And he's one of those people that he fucked himself over because he went on Twitter back before Elon got rid of the thing where you could see what people liked and replied to or whatever. And he would just like go in and like and just shit on trans people. And I was like, I want nothing to do with this human being.
It's funny because that was actually going to be my next question because I am super like late to the game with a lot of like news that comes out. So I didn't know this until like later on, but I saw the preview to Super Normal, that game.
Yeah,
and I
Super
was
Normal,
like,
yeah.
And I was like probably like most of us were like, oh, this looks like a cool, short like indie horror game. And then people started posting about it and the news of the guy and being an asshole and all this. And I remember going into one of my friend's streams. He's not a CEO; he's just a regular old, streamer, regular old streamer. And he was playing Super Normal. So he asked me, he was like, "Holly, he's like, this game was so scary. Have you played it yet?" I'm like, have you read about it? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, come on. And he's like, you can't let that deter you from playing games. And in my head, I'm like, it's not even that. That's an aspect of why it's deterring me from playing this game, that they use like a real 911 like SA call, the transphobia, and also like I don't want also like my friends to see that it's a hard thing because I was like, I don't want anyone knowing that I'm playing this. Like, I'm not going to, but I also like don't want judgment because like this happened, right? The transphobia happened, the 911 call happened, like all that's true, and I don't want anyone to think that like I support it, even though like at the time like I don't care anymore, but like it looked like a cool horror game to play, and I was like, oh, I really want to play it, but I'm like, I'm so teeter-tottered on actually playing it, and I'm glad that I didn't. But like, have you seen any of your friends playing that game or supporting that game, and have you like judged them, but in your head just kind of been like, maybe not a good look?
I don't think that one as much. I think there was one streamer that I'd once followed that I think I met through someone else and whatever, and like I dropped a follow, maybe watched a stream here and there. Um, and they played super normal, and I was kind of like, that's kind of disappointing. But like, I don't. It's weird because like I'm the same way with music because obviously in the genre of music that we listen to, there could be really shitty people. I was devastated when the shit about the vocalist of Ailstorm came out, and then
Yeah.
yeah, like that was fucking heavy.
The music's so good.
Yeah, I agreed. I loved Inquisition. They were a two person black metal band. They're from Colombia, and then they moved up to like Oregon or whatever to be in the States. And it had come out years after the thing. 'Cause I guess like somehow the drummer didn't know about it, and somehow the label didn't know about it. But someone was just kind of looking some stuff up and came across documents, and they were like, "Wait a fucking second, is this the same guy?" And then threw it at Metal Sucks, which is a massive metal publication website. And they were like, huh, that's interesting. So it had turned out that he was brought up on CP charges, and he had like terabytes and terabytes of videos and pictures and media on his computer. And so yeah, the feds came in and they were like, "You're fucked. We're taking this. We're gonna fuck you over now because you're an asshole." And yeah, he ended up taking a plea bargain on it because he was gonna obviously sell out. Like, well, I got it from this server because that's what they want to get. They want to get to the source and get rid of the source.
Yeah.
Not. It's the same thing with like like drugs. Exactly. Like they'll give you like if you get caught. But you have something on you, like where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? Because they want to find the dealer, they want to find the supplier and cut it off at the head. So fair enough. But shit. Now I'm thinking about drugs. That's not good.
You're like, when's the time for drugs?
The drugs. Shit. So yeah, but yeah. So it was Inquisition, and like I've never deleted a discography faster in my life. I'm like, I shook that fucking guy's hand. Like that's fucking like I was like, oh, I need a match and just light my hand on fire. But that sucked because especially when you like the music or you like the game or you like whatever type of media it is, and then the person behind said media or artwork does something that doesn't align with what you believe in. And I think as much as I don't respect a lot of people's beliefs on things, not to go like political or anything like that, I like, for instance, I knew a lot of streamers that streamed Hogwarts. And like I grew up with Harry Potter, like I'm sure you guys did. Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone movie literally saved me, my mom, and my sister's life. We were spending a weekend on Martha's Vineyard. It's one of the islands off the southern coast of Cape Cod. And we were doing like Christmas shopping and stuff and just getting like family photos done and just being a cute family, I guess. And we're staying in this old like hotel, and we went a block and a half down to the movie theater to see Harry Potter. It was a one-screen cinema, like old school. And the movie was like, it's like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes. It's a long movie.
It is.
We came out and there's lights everywhere. We're like, what's going on? And the hotel is just ablaze.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, oh shit. Yeah, so we ended up spending the night in the fire department. Like they have like the rooms for the firefighters. They're like, yeah, you can stay in this one. Like no one usually stays in this one. I'm like, okay, thanks. And the worst thing is that it was like, we had like one of the heating units you have like on the wall. So it takes the air in from the outside. The smoke was blowing into the room. So all we had was, we could just like, and like I felt like my CD collection was in there. So I was fucking ruined. My sister had this, it was a teddy bear that had camo on, and she called him Army Bear. And it was like her, it was like her service animal. Like it made her feel better, like at night, or if she just needed it to like after school of a hard day. And he was in there, and she was absolutely fucking devastated. And and my mom had lost her home when she was a junior in high school. Her house had like it just completely just took a blaze and went down. She had to live out of like a mobile home in their driveway for like 6 months or whatever. So like she's just absolutely broken. And but there was I think it ended up working out. And of course, we kind of know how Christmas works nowadays, but at the time we still kind of had a belief. I remember going downstairs Christmas like a couple weeks later and sitting in front of the tree on top of my black book of CDs was Army Bear. And he had a note, and it was like a diary note that he wrote saying that he had to parachute out of the top window and he was only able to grab some of the stuff that we had there, but he wanted to make sure he could grab some things that mattered to us. And like I've never bawled harder on Christmas morning before in my life.
Trying not to cry right now. I'm just like, how could you do this to me? Like, it's like playing with my emotions like that. Yeah. Oh, that's.
So sorry, tangent. So Harry Potter was very important to me. J.K. Rowling is not important to me. I think she's a terrible human being. And you know, I know of people that wanted to play it. I remember there was a point in time when Knox got it gifted to him from his one of his siblings, and he was asking in his Discord like, "Hey, how do you guys feel about this? I have no problem not playing it online for obvious reasons. Obviously, my money didn't go towards it, so I don't feel super guilty. But like, I don't want to just play it on stream if you guys are like a hard no." And a lot of people are like, "Yeah, dude, like maybe not." And he was like, "Okay, that's fine." But I guess there was someone that was in the Discord was super disgruntled by it and went to their Discord and basically had an army of their friends in Discord send like death threats and terrible DMs his way, and it fucked him up for a few days. And it's like that defeats the whole purpose of you want to protest her for her terrible beliefs on humanity. That's not the fucking way to do it.
Yeah.
And especially where they were telling him to unalive himself. We have a lot of mutuals in our communities. So like I went out and I specifically said on my Discord, I said, if I ever fucking find out someone ever talks like that to anybody, I don't care who it is, you are so fucking gone from this community, and I will report you across every social media platform that I have you on. I will fucking erase you from the internet because you're a piece of shit human being if you do that. Like I'm a teddy bear. Like I don't like. I mean, I swing and kick in pits and stuff like that out of fun. But like you start fucking with like human rights, like I'm gonna throw bombs, like verbally, physically. I don't give a shit. First Rammstein show I ever went to, some guy Sig Heiled right in front of me, fucking broke his nose, and then Sparta kicked him into the pit. I was like, fuck you, don't come back.
Good.
But also Rammstein, amazing live.
Yes, absolutely. One of, if not the best live shows you could see. You don't even have to like the music. Just go and watch. They played at Gillette Stadium a couple years ago when I went. I initially had tickets pre-COVID for like the 300 bowl at the top because I was like, $25 tickets and then fees? Fine, fuck it, I'll do it. And then COVID hit and it got delayed for like 2.5 years. And it came to a point where they're like, all right, this didn't sell as much as we hoped it was going to. And then they didn't want to bring staff in to work like the 300 bowl. So they're like, fuck it. All of your tickets are now canceled. You now have new tickets for the field. Okay.
Ooh.
So that ruled.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, they had like every like, I think it was like the midfield, then at the end zones on each side, they had these giant towers. They would just shoot pyros out into the sky and shit. So yeah, it was massive. And I'd seen Metallica there, and that was a massive show. This just took it and was like, how can we jump the shark? Let's just go as far as we can with this. Okay.
Did you get squirted on by giant dick cannons?
Not at that one because I was much further back. I was on like the opposite end of the field. So I'm like, I get to see the whole thing. This is fine because there was like the fire zone was like $300 tickets. I'm like, fuck that. Like I'm not spending money to get up that up close because when they played the DCU Center in Worcester, that was the first time I saw them. I got in line at like 11 in the morning and just chilled, and then I got in and we were on barricade. And they opened with Sona, and like the fucking pyros hit, and I was like, my eyebrows are gone. Okay. But yeah, no, what an amazing live show. I don't know how much longer they're going to be around for because they're obviously much older and they all have families and shit now. But yeah, I hope we get them one more time. Actually, you know what else? It's usually off camera, but
Ooh,
Sensuck
Nice.
poster. That was the first time I ever saw them. I got that poster.
that's a beautiful
Yeah.
poster.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah, I need to redo all my posters though because it looks like shit.
I always recommend people seeing Rammstein live. Like you said, even if you don't like the music, the performance is great. Like you can see from everywhere. It's always so much pyro. It's a show. It really is. It's a spectacle, and it's fantastic. Listen, we don't know what they're saying. It's fucking German rock metal, but it slaps. It slaps really hard. I also listened to just like Till Lindemann's solo
Oh, the
stuff.
solo project, yeah.
I really liked the Skills and Pills album. I thought that was great. And then they came out with a couple of songs after that, which I thought were pretty okay. What did you think?
I haven't really given his solo project the love it deserves. I've heard a couple tracks in there, and I was like, it sounds like Rammstein. Like, I'm cool with it. I have no negative approach to it. Yeah, but it's the same thing as like Guar. Like, you don't have to like that music at all. Go and watch their show. It's phenomenal. I've never laughed harder in my life. Like then I also, the last time I saw them I cried because it was after Odorous died.
I was gonna say, like, Gwar, have you seen Gwar like after Odorous and during Odorous, and is it still good? Like, is the show still good?
I saw them twice with Odorous, and it was fantastic. And then after he passed on, they had like that first tour. So they brought back the original Brutus the Beefcake. That's a fucking wrestler. So I think it was Brutus the Barbarian. He used to be he was one of the bassists. They brought him in to just do vocals. And I think he still does vocals now. It looks like he has like udders on his stomach that like postulate.
Yeah.
So he does vocals now, and they also had this girl there. She was like some cyborg chick. I can't remember her fucking name, but she was there for like a hot minute as part of their story. Then she moved on.
Yeah.
But what they were doing was, because every time you see their show, there's an overarching story for the whole show. And this one was that Odorous was stuck in another dimension, and they had to rescue him from Super Christ. And
That's awesome.
So Super Christ came out looking like fucking Megazord from Power Rangers. And they're like, what are we going to do? And then you just saw the smoke from the side of the stage. And I was like, no fucking way. And they brought Gorgor out, their pet baby T-Rex.
Nice.
And they fucking fought. And it was awesome. And then, like, I'm like, this is great. I'm like, they're doing all the same things. But they're making it about, like, we're trying to get Odorous. And the thing that Super Christ did, he goes, you all are so funny. You think he's in another dimension. He's just in hell. Odorous is fucking dead. And then Super Christ dies. And then they did a couple covers to close the show out. They did West End Boys with a Pet Shop. What is it? No, it's Pet Shop Boys doing West End Girls. Sorry. The East Side Boys and the West End Girls. West End Girls. Boom, 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 boom. And it was like, but it was Gwar. And I was like, this is outrageous. And then I don't remember what band it is, but they do. So their song is in the credits of the 2004 Dawn of the Dead. It's like, to all the people who died. To all the people. It's like the punk song. They covered that and they changed to Odorous died. He fucking died. I was like, oh,
jeez. I'm like, come on, man. Did you watch the show? Oh my God, it's like the Holliston with Odorous in it. So it's the show, the director of Hatchet, Adam Green.
Okay.
It's his show. It's like Friends, like a sitcom. It's on Shudder. It's actually very good. It's his show about like his life and like friends and stuff, and it's kind of like with Friends, Big Bang Theory, kind of like that. But he has an imaginary friend, and his imaginary friend who lives in the closet, he comes out. It's Odorous from Gwar before he passed away. So he just like comes and the fucking
the cuttlefish.
The cuttlefish on his dick. Yeah, it's just like, what's wrong, Adam? It's like, I want Odorous to be my imaginary friend.
I'll never forget the time when my dad was like, He's like, I was over your uncle's house and he had that shitty Fox News on. He's like, do you listen to that band Gwar still? I was just like, oh yeah, because we found Gwar together when playing Beavis and Butthead on Sega Genesis.
Hell
Because
yeah.
you have to go around find pieces of Gwar tickets for them to go see Gwar. And he was like, he was like, because he happened to have it on, and it was like I think it was called the Red Eye, like that particular section. And it was just a bunch of people conversating on politics and whatnot, and they're like, we do have someone here to assist us with this conversation, and it's fucking Odorous Arungus,
Yeah.
and he just is shitting on everybody. He's like, oh, you fucking humans, and they're like, sir, can you not swear? And he was just like, no, don't you know who I am? I'm Odorous Arungus. I'm the leader of the Scumdogs from Scumdogia, blah blah blah, and I'm only still here because I love what humans call crack. And they're like,
Yeah.
It's like, you guys did no fucking research, and they kept bringing him back.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Do you guys
Or they
remember?
tried to bring they didn't bring up. They used the Executioner's Tax, Swing of the Axe by Power Trip, and Riley Gale, rip, the vocalist, basically tweeted out to them. He's like, don't ever fucking use my music again. You guys are so fucking tone deaf. You don't even understand what the song's about. You're playing a song that is attacking you and you think that it's for you. Keep my name out of your fucking mouths. And I was like, yes.
Wow.
That's fucking right.
Do you guys
That's
remember
so
the
awesome.
Gwar cartoon?
Vaguely.
No.
There was
Vaguely.
the first episode of the Gwar cartoon is Odorous
Gwartoon?
gets
Gwartoon.
yeah gets like his mind erased or something, and he's like his whole thing is like he's going around like being nice to people, and at the end of the episode he just like kills a bunch of kids at the end.
I'm in.
It's a great cartoon, but that's the only thing I remember about it.
This
That's how do you put that? I'm sold. I don't know about you guys.
is...
Yeah,
Also,
'cause-
having this conversation makes me want to all go to a metal show together. So us East Coasters need to fucking make this happen eventually.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Gwar plays a stadium near me quite regularly. Like they still
Do they
do
live
it.
over?
No.
Do they live by you? I
They're-
imagine they just go shopping. And
Yeah. But they play the Post Pavilion quite often. I see every time I go over to their website. Like every summer they have Gwar playing, and I'm just like, I need to go to that.
yeah,
Actually, where's that? Oh, 1 second.
yeah. My God, I would love to see Gwar.
I actually have Gwar's Scumdogs of the Universe on vinyl.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's I got the deluxe edition. It was either deluxe edition or like they like reissued it and it's better and it's a double album. It's a double vinyl and it's like really good.
Sorry,
Ooh, fuck yeah.
there's a lot more tape on that than I thought. So, Rock and Shock Festival used to be a thing here in Worcester. Basically, the Palladium would have bands, and the DCU Center was a horror convention. So like actors, directors, all sorts of shit, and they would do signings all the time there. So Gwar showed up in character to do his signing, and I was like, I'm absolutely fucking going.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Date beef.
Yeah, that's all. That's like the OGs and shit.
Yes,
Oh,
my
that's
favorite date and
awesome.
time, beef.
Oh, beef. Yeah, yeah. That was
Beefcake?
Beefcake. It's him, right? That's Beefcake. The new Beefcake. That's the drummer. I can never remember his fucking name. That's the Ballsack, the Jaws of Death.
Yeah. His signature guitar is fucking sick.
Yes. This is Pustulus Maximus.
Mhm.
He's one of the guitarists, and then there's Odorous up here.
Nice.
Oh, and his cuttlefish is right there.
Yeah.
I just
Of course it is.
Yes, just hanging between his legs.
Yeah.
My cuttlefish.
Dog.
Oh, speaking of cuddles.
That's Tater.
Hi, Tater.
Sweet baby.
Oh, sweet, sweet baby. Listen,
She
Jugs,
stinks.
I need to ask you this question before we end, because it has been the question that I've wanted to ask you for the last 3 years.
You waited
And
this long?
every
Wow.
time, and I've waited for this moment to ask you this.
Okay.
Did you get your name from 13 Ghosts?
No, but I love that. I love that you thought of that reference.
Mhm.
It's as obvious as it is. It's from the Juggernaut Bitch video from like 2006, predating YouTube.
Okay.
It's the My Way parody. Was a bunch of guys that were just like, we're just gonna voice over an X-Men episode, and it just blew the fuck up. And that's when
it's Juggernaut, bitch.
yeah, it's a cartoon. It's the X-Men cartoon playing, and it's every time the Juggernaut shows up, it's just this guy, oh, the Juggernaut, bitch, ah! And it's like, and then there's other people. Like I usually don't play it on stream because there's a few N-bombs in it. You know, so it's a little rough, but highly recommend off stream. Look it up. It's on YouTube for sure. But they did that, and I ended up making. So I was gonna make. I was making my Steam account at the time because I was probably a junior in high school, and I had built a PC in one of my classes, and I was like, I'm gonna take this home and use it. Like, okay. I'm making my Steam account, and I was like, what do I make my Steam account? Because at the time, my AIM screen name, dating ourselves here, was the letter I, the letter C, monkeys 00. I don't know why, but there we are. And I was like, I'm kind of retired. I'm retiring that. Like, what am I gonna do? And that video was just consistently like I was consistently just referencing it all the time. Like everyone was doing Napoleon Dynamite, I was doing the Juggernaut bitch video. And then the Dennis Frogman one. They did a Power Rangers episode with that big frog that like eats them, and he calls himself Dennis Frogman. He's like, this one qualified me for the dream team. he goes to drop kick him, Charles Barkley. It's just the corniest shit. It's so fun.
I love that.
So I was like, all right, I'll try doing the Juggernaut, and of course it was taken because why wouldn't it be? So I was like, oh, I'll put my birthday at the end of it because no one realizes it's my birthday. And every time I say that, even now, they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, June 7th, 1989, 6789. They're like, no fucking way. I'm like, yeah, fucking way. That's when I popped out.
That's when I have arrived.
You said June 7th?
June 7th, 1980. Yeah,
you're 3 days before my birthday.
Oh, nice. June babies for life, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm a May baby. That's you know
close enough. I'll take
that's
it.
Close, you know. It's funny because you were like, it's come with the Juggernaut bitch. It's from that meme. So you have that up as your tag on Discord, and because I don't know the Juggernaut bitch reference that you're making, when I looked at it, I thought you were saying it as like you were Freddy Krueger. I'm the Juggernaut bitch.
Yeah, it's funny because most people actually. I love that you made the 13 Ghosts connection because my wife thought the same thing. She was just like, I love 13 Ghosts, and I was like, no, but awesome. The other one is the Juggernaut like characters that are in Call of Duty. They're like super heavily armored units and stuff. So I got that, and then there's, I think from Dota 2, there's also like a Russian Juggernaut or something. I've heard that reference before, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I never played Dota. Call of Duty, like, I played it when the Juggernauts were in there, but I had already had my Juggernaut name on Steam because I was wasting my college days playing fucking Left 4 Dead and Guitar Hero.
Fucking love Left 4 Dead.
Oh, yeah. It's instant classic, fantastic. I don't need a third one. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Fucking go. Nice, dude. Well, listen, we had a great time talking to you. You're very easy to talk to.
Yeah.
You are a conversation starter as well, and I love that. You're super passionate about music, about games, and it really shows. And I stan. I am a Juggernaut fan. Where can everyone find you on Twitch and your other socials?
It's essentially the Juggernaut 6789 almost everywhere. I think Twitter, it's at Juggernaut 6789 because I couldn't fit the word "the" in there for some reason. And also I just joined Blue Sky, like a lot of us have in the past couple weeks. So if you're new to Blue Sky, come find me there. And then and I haven't streamed there yet, but I'm on Soup.
Lucky Soup.
Lucky Soup.
So that should be the Juggernaut 6789, but the URL is just the Juggernaut because I was like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, the time that you can have it, take it.
And also, and this is true, you can look it up yourselves. Onlyjugs.live. 2 G's.
Only Jugs.live.
Yep.
One second.
What is
One-
only? What is that?
One moment.
Yeah, onlyjugs.live. You're
Is
gonna
that
love.
you?
You can, we'll wait to see what Max has to say here.
Live.
Yes, ONLYJUGGS.live.
Damn phone.
I have to make sure it still works because I don't own the. Oh, it still works.
My fat fucking sausage fingers. Let's see. How the hell did you get that to work?
That's awesome.
So, another pop and shout out to my buddy Treebeard. He bought that domain name and just put a redirect in. So when you go there, it just goes to my Twitch channel.
That's awesome.
That's
I thought
awesome.
my phone had broken for a second. I was like, it just keeps taking me to your Twitch.
I refreshed. Yeah.
I was expecting
why is
something
this-
very
what?
different.
Oh yeah, no. I
This
of
isn't
course
boobs.
no. I 100% have not made my OnlyFans account called Jugs Juggies. That does not exist. I keep talking about it and joking about it, but there's got to be a market to look at some fat dude's nipples, right? Is that a thing? Like,
There's always a market for everything. Look at, I'm working on my OnlyFans where I just sit and eat desserts. So like, if Juggy Jugs and his titties want to make a fucking entrance and do some like cake stuff, I'm down.
are we gonna redo cake farts?
Yeah, I really, really want to fart on some cakes. I know that sounds weird, but I really
Poor
want
Max
it.
is like, I don't know what they're talking about. Oh yeah, that was I remember
My
the
best
day
friend,
that
ladies and gentlemen, wanting to fart on cakes.
shooting the shit with my friends because we just found cake farts and we're laughing about it. And around the corner comes my dad and he goes, "She does pudding too." Like,
Your
what the
dad is
fuck?
the best. Your dad's the best. I
Uh,
want him to be my dad. It's not fair. She does pudding too. Yeah, so someone's making millions off of farting on cakes, and it's not me. And I need to change that ASAP.
yeah, I keep telling my wife and her best friend they were joking about Feet Finder, and I was like, "You're not gonna put your face on there, right? So what does it matter?" I mean, she's like, "You wouldn't care." I'm like, "What the fuck would I care? Like,
Yeah.
it's your feet."
My husband says the same thing. He's like, "Why don't you just like sell your after gym panties?" I'm like,
What the fuck?
Yes. Oh, people will certainly buy this. Some weirdos out there.
I was just like, listen, let's see how this next year goes.
Oh yeah, I would if someone paid me for it. I would gladly fart into a plastic bag and send it to them. I don't
100%.
recommend it, but I would do it.
Here's my
Bathwater,
bathwater.
sure.
Yeah.
These are the
Oh,
people
boy.
I've chosen to be my friends.
Yeah,
We've grown up in a post-capitalist society. This is all we can think about is what's the next
Yeah.
big thing.
right.
That's
What?
fair.
How am I gonna pay my bills?
Yeah.
Like, I need to fucking take pictures of my feet or something. Something. Fart on cakes. That's my life goal. It's just make millions of farting on cakes. Max,
You got to
did
do
wanna say
pizza. You have to
anything?
do pizza though. It's gonna be well, not hot.
Oh.
Not hot though.
Oh yeah. I'll have to do something with pizza. like stick the pepperonis on me or something.
We got to put the pepperonis on the areolas
Yeah.
first and foremost.
And like grade like the cheese. You know when it says like I'll do like ASMR, like tell me to say when, but I just never say when. It's just so much.
And then
Good.
the sauce is dribbling off of your chin.
You gotta do
Yeah.
a tasteful version of that Power Rangers episode where they get baked into a pizza.
Jesus.
Also,
Oh,
my God.
one more thing before we go. Jugs, you mentioned Warbringer earlier.
Yes.
Favorite song?
Oh, without a doubt, Combat Shock.
I prefer Descending Blade.
That's a good one.
Woe to the Vanquished is such a good album.
Yeah,
Just
that
a
one.
Best album.
Yeah, I mean, I found them on Total War, so like that whole album is just gold to me,
Mhm.
and then everything afterwards has just been extra credit. But yeah, Woe to the Vanquished was definitely a step above, like, because the previous what was the one with like the gray album artwork. That was definitely kind of like a safe release for them,
Mhm.
and then they kind of broke up, and then they got back together, did Woe to the Vanquished, and it was like, fuck yes, we like to see this.
Yeah.
Silhouettes is like a top 3 song too.
I need to listen to more of them. It's been like 4 years since I listened to Warbringer, so.
Oh jeez. Just hit play on Total War after this and just listen to the whole thing. It's just burner
Noted.
after burner.
Noted.
Yeah.
I'm going to find someone to raid real quickly.
Do 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 do.
Who we raiding out to today?
It's a good question.
I would
say a streamer.
A streamer.
Yeah, I know. It sounds kind of crazy.
Hey,
That's
Jugs.
weird.
Sorry, continue.
Go ahead. No,
I was
wasn't
just
saying
gonna. So, do you like the new wave of British heavy metal, like just that entire genre?
Oh, you mean the music that my dad put on cassette players to put me down for naps when I was an infant? Yes, I was indoctrinated, sir.
Cool. So
he was like,
Dad.
he'd sing me to sleep, singing Ronnie James Dio, and then he'd put me down and be like, yes, screaming for vengeance. Boop.
Nice.
That'll keep him asleep.
Do you know the band Grim Reaper?
Not offhand.
They made this wonderful album. This is See You in Hell.
Nice.
This album is actually where I get my username from.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we never went over our finals. Shit.
We'll do a part 2, and that's what we'll
Part
do.
2. Yes.
To the final.
That's for the Patreon supporters.
I have been considering that.
That's for only Jugs.
No.
Yes. You get a 20% off discount for a month subscription to Only Jugs. Promo code Juggies.
Come on, Juggies, yeah.
Oh, Juggies 69420.
Yes, YOLO.
Well, thank you both for having me. This has been
Of
super
course.
fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's been Heavy Hand Swings, and I him more so than me, I'll be honest, has been talking about, because he missed a lot of wrestling. He witnessed the Owen Hart tragedy on pay-per-view, and he was kind of like,
Ooh.
yeah, he's like, I'm backing out of this, and he grew out of it, but he's recently gotten back into it. He doesn't really watch WWE. I got him to watch AEW, and he was like, I'm fucking in. I'm all in, baby.
You're all in.
But he was thinking about doing a podcast where I would discuss like wrestling matches that he hasn't seen, and like showing him, like, obviously I can't show everyone what's going on because I'll get fucking DMC'd out the ass. But it'd be me showing him stuff that's just absolutely ridiculous, like almost not so much like a Botchamania ripoff, but just crazy matches and whatnot.
Like
And
Ibushi wrestling the blow-up doll?
oh yeah, absolutely. So there is so I'm researching it. I don't really know if I can pull it off in time, or if I have the money or the time to do it. But I noticed there's a specific saying that's been used a little bit, that's not currently trademarked, and I think I'm going to try to go for it. And that's "for the sickos."
Hell yeah.
Because that's been a big like the diehard AEW fans are like, oh yeah, like Tony Khan fucking books for the sickos, and he's even been like, this weekend's gonna be for the sickos. And I'm like, are you fucking hearing us?
Honestly, that's a great name. My friend used to write a wrestling magazine, and he called it the Cheap Pop.
The Cheap
And
Pop.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, that is a great name. I love that.
So yeah, so if that ever comes to fruition, I'll be sure to hit you up as a guest.
Please, talking wrestling is my favorite thing ever. So
Yeah, and Heavy's right in the same lane as us. He listens to the same music. He's a big pothead. He's a legal drug dealer because he works at a dispensary. So like
nice.
He'll fit right in.
So he checks all the marks. Get it? Wrestling terms.
Well.
All right, I found who we're going to raid. We're going to raid wonderful Nana, who is a lovely member of our stream team.
Prince Nana?
Sure, I guess.
Poor Max.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh God.
I'm too
Dude,
young for
yeah,
this
it's
shit.
a manager in wrestling known as Prince
When I
Nana.
drive, man, I swear, when I drive, yeah, I swear.
Okay, so if you hate our faces, we're gonna be on Spotify. We love you guys. We'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.